Do you feel like when you have your last fight of your career, it will be in the UFC?
I'm gonna say the last fight of my career, if it's my storybook ending, ends with gold and a lot of money, and I don't know where I'll be, wherever the most money's at in the world. That's what I am gonna say. I'm gonna be 100% honest with that answer. Wherever the most money's at that particular time in the world. Maybe we're fighting other planets. Maybe aliens have already came over. Now I'm fighting for the world, the best 170-pounder against fucking Galactus or something from another planet, and I'm getting paid universal money. So I don't even know where the last fight's gonna take place, bro.
What up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another Sound of Violence podcast. I am Pulver, and I'm here with my co-host, Chris Madaffer. What up, bruh?
Oh, keep telling myself I'm not going to keep drinking all the goddamn week, but that's what happens when you get called off work at the beginning of the week, and just one thing this leads to another.
Yeah, one beer definitely does lead to another, especially with our degenerate-ass friends.
Yeah.
But if you guys don't know, this is not a drinking show, despite my best efforts. This is the Sound of Violence podcast. Each week, we break down the MMA podcast you should catch, skip, and one you can't miss, as well as we try and talk about a new show. And, speaking of drinking, I'm real glad I'm not drinking what I like to refer to now as the bungalow rum, Black Bass,
right.
which completely hammered last week. I blacked out fucking halfway through that movie and started slurring real bad. Gave some unfortunate nicknames out that
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it now.
Oh man, it's not good. And I mean, it's great. The movie's great. Your half of the commentary is great. My first half is manageable. Then I just fucking fall off a cliff and I just start slurring real bad. It's fucking unfortunate. But god damn it, is that movie great. Go watch Supreme Champion. It's supreme. And it's the champion. All right, we will go ahead and kick off our format. But it's been kind of a crazy week for no actual MMA shows or anything last weekend. There's been a shitload of MMA news and a ton of podcasts.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. A lot of things going around. Want to start at the top with some off-topic news real quick, get out of the way?
Sure, go ahead.
Jimmy Smith, formerly...
I was just about to say, and John McCarthy.
And John McCarthy. They kind of a little switcheroo there in a weird way.
So John McCarthy's now the color commentator for Bellator, and Jimmy Smith is a play-by-play guy for
So would you basically
UFC.
Is that kind of confirm Rogan has one foot out the door?
I mean, Rogan's been confirming that for like 2 years now. Rogan, every time he gets a chance, he always just says that he always just says that he wants to only do fight companions every time, and that he doesn't want to have to fucking fly out to whatever city or whatever.
Yeah, because he wants his pre-fight off-topic discussions with Eddie Bravo, and then he'll laugh himself and be like, I don't know, look into it.
Yeah, no, he really wants to talk about how he finds his information in the library. God damn it, those things.
Who goes to the library anymore?
No. Yeah, well, people who get their
Have you been to a public library recently?
No, I'm not homeless. Why would I do that?
Don't. The Claremont Public Library is very bad.
I mean, yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah,
it wasn't great when I was there in the 90s. I can't imagine it got better since then.
Touche.
Anyway.
But yeah, I think that's kind of interesting, though. Jimmy Smith's a good replacement. I mean,
Jimmy Smith's a fucking fantastic commentator. He's one of the best.
That's kind of thing. I guess they expect casuals to not notice. They're like, oh, it's just another bald guy.
Yeah. Oh, except, why does Joe Rogan have a goatee?
No, that's right,
But yeah, it's great. Jimmy's like one of the best in the business, especially, and being able to get him from Bellator is like criminal that they had to let him go. And that wasn't Scott Coker's choice. So that, I'm starting to worry a little bit about how much money Bellator has, like, coming to him from Paramount, especially with the network change to the way they're
Spike
now Paramount.
Is now just called like Paramount Network.
And it feels weird to have fighting on the Paramount Network,
Yeah, I mean, right? How many commercials are you gonna get for Paramount films?
Oh my god, that's all it's gonna be.
Oh, I just heard that means like more Transformers films. I don't fucking know. I think that's Paramount.
To be fair, that's the fucking audience, right?
Well, yeah.
Goddamn degenerates. Anyway, we should get into format. So, Chris, why don't you start us off with the MMA podcast you think people should catch this week?
I have 2 of them. I do also have a can't miss.
I have 2 as well. I actually, spoiler alert, I have 2 of every choice this week since we took 2 weeks off, and I was hammered last week, so I wanted to make it up.
The first one I'll pick real quick. I listened to about 30 minutes of it. Was Joe Rogan's MMA show.
Let's just get. Do you want to get into this now, or do you want to get into this later?
Let's get into this now because you unless
this
you
is,
prefer later.
Well, it doesn't matter to me. This is my can't miss for this week.
Oh, cool. There you go.
So yeah, fucking fantastic.
Honestly, it probably should be my can't miss if I listened to more of it, but I know it's like 2 hours long or hour and a half.
Yeah. At least,
I'll finish listening to it, obviously, but
fucking fantastic. It's so cool to see Tyron in there.
Yeah, I really like Tyron Woodley a lot. I've always been a big fan. I know he kind of gets a bad rap for no real apparent reason except for, don't get me wrong, he's whined.
It's the Thompson fights and the whining.
And he has whined. He has, so don't get me wrong. But I think people blow it out of proportion a little bit. And it was good to watch him, in a sit-down interview with Joe where he can kind of just let his hair down in a sense and just kind of just talk. It's cool, man.
And honestly, it felt a lot like Morning Wood Show. Like, just because he's done so many reps with Dean on Morning Wood Show on their podcast. If you guys don't know, the Morning Wood Show with Deez Nuts is a fantastic podcast with Dean.
I just realized he's probably going to put out some more episodes soon, right?
They just did episode 50 this week. And they say they're going to do more episodes, but they said that on the last episode they did, which was like 6 months ago. Yeah. So I almost put that on the canceled podcast list because there was so many.
Shit.
I mean, not really, but it was like there was such a long gap on that one. But yeah, just fantastic. Tyron's talking shit about everybody.
Did he say that? I didn't really get into it. I didn't listen to it far enough. Does Joe obviously ask him who he sees as potential next opponents, or is he kind of pushing it off?
Yeah. Here's some quotes. You think George want to fight me? He also talks about
probably RDA gets brought up, right? I imagine.
Yeah. He said the dude who he thinks is really dope right now is Kamaru Usman. He's like, Kamaru Usman is dope.
Yeah.
He's like, that's the motherfucker I'm worried about. Like, those types of dudes. I'm not worried about no Colby Covington or anything. It's like, how you gonna get lit up like that by a jiu-jitsu man?
I remember that, yeah.
Fucking great.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Because, Covington, sure, he's a great wrestler, but he needs work with his stand-up. I don't know how his chin is. Usman is just, and we'll see tomorrow. Fucking just how good this guy is.
Yeah, and he pointed out that RDA looked good against Robbie, but Robbie always takes the 3rd round off and leads against Cage. Plus, that was when he blew out his ACL and MCL. He's and then RDA still didn't finish him.
Because RDA's not a power guy; he's a very, very high volume.
True, but Robbie was fucking not doing much towards the end of that fight.
Couldn't even move.
Yeah. So he had some interesting points about RDA overall, and it was funny how he talked about George and kept calling for a fight with a big money fight. Obviously, he said he would take George or Bisping right now. Says if either one of them want to fight, I would take that fight right now in the next as soon as his shoulder's good.
Oh, well, I was gonna say hopefully not while he's rehabbing.
Yeah, no, but he said as soon as it's good. He did mention something that blew my goddamn mind. He said the majority of the 170-pound division is southpaw, including most of the guys he's fought and most of the guys in his future, which is crazy to think about. But he started to list them down, like Robbie Lawler, Johnny Hendricks, Stephen Thompson, Colby Covington, Damian Maia. No.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe he just switches.
He switches a lot. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's why.
But traditionally he's southpaw. Fucking RDA, most of the guys are southpaw, which is crazy. And he says that's part of the reason why he went to Duke's camp in the first place, is because Duke's brother, who he grew up sparring, was a southpaw. So Duke knows how to shut down southpaws really well, which is something Anthony Pettis did for a long time, was just shut down southpaws. So I thought that was a fucking cool thing that I had never really thought about too much. I mean, recently he has been fighting a lot of Southpaw dudes, but I didn't realize just how fucking many previously and going forward. So that was pretty dope. Also, he plays video games, evidently. I've never heard him talk about it, ever.
Yeah. What does he play?
Probably didn't say.
Yeah.
I tweeted him actually asking, which is never going to get a reply.
Yeah, what would you imagine him playing?
100% Madden or
for sure.
2K.
2K.
Those are my first two picks.
He probably plays sports
because he's super into sports. He loves football and basketball.
Yeah.
But I also figured...
I know a lot of those guys like to play Call of Duty or something.
I was going to say it's probably like a Call of Duty or something, yeah. But a lot of people I've heard talk about PUBG, including TJ DeSantis, I'm sure, dog, started talking about, I got this game called PUBG.
I've been on that. PUBG is fun.
Yeah.
Like, I know Fortnite.
He's on Xbox, too.
I know Fortnite's still the rage, but that's because it's, PUBG is only on Xbox and PC right now, but... I'll tell you what, man. I haven't played Fortnite at all since
PUBG is the version of those kinds of games.
It's insane. It's so much fucking fun.
Yeah, I've never even played that game, but I've probably watched a good 100 hours of it.
I was like, fuck, dude, if you're ever near my house, dude,
right?
Fucking let's go.
Right. Except PUBG on a controller seems weird to me.
Yeah, you have to get used
all
to
first-person shooters on a controller feel weird to me. Yeah, there was some... anyway, we should get back to Jerry, but there was some funny shit. He talked about how Sage was whooping his ass for, the first day or two of sparring just because, all the weird sidekicks and shit he would throw from when he brought him in. He said some funny shit about Ngannou, stuff he don't knock you out regular. It's that's a fucking funny line.
He kills you.
Yeah, Rogan starts calling for Khabib versus Tony in Russia for the belt. Saying that's what the UFC should do.
Yeah, what did
which is
think
always
of that?
a sign that that's what's gonna happen. Yeah, that's what I mean. Woodley's been saying that.
Does he mention anything about Khabib's grappling? Probably not.
Yeah, they talk a lot about it. Dude, Tyron says Khabib is it was the first fight he saw of Khabib's, and he asked Joe, he's like, all his fights are like that? He's like, yeah, man, they're all like that. He's like,
yeah, that's nuts.
Damn, I need to go watch this dude. And then he said, Rogan goes, yeah, he's big for 155. He's thinking about coming up to 170. Tyron's like, hell no, I don't want none of that problem.
Hilarious.
Okay, great.
How do you think that fight would go? I mean, I know with Woodley
would shut him down.
Yeah.
Dude, he's too open on the feet. Yeah. But his wrestling would be real fun to watch Tyron fight. Because, also, you got to realize Tyron trains at Rufus Sport, which, of course, is home of the greatest grappler in all of MMA, Ben Askren.
Ben Askren, yeah.
So, and Ben Askren already says he would fuck Khabib up, which is the fight to make. Ben Askren versus Khabib for the goddamn monster belt. Give them their own belt. Yeah, give them their own goddamn belt of somebody getting suplexed, and let's just make this shit happen. Oh man, but yeah, I think Tyron's tapes. First off, Dean's tape study game and Ben Askren's wrestling coaching game is.
Tyron easily has top 3 coaching and
he probably has some of the best takedown events ever of all time. His percentage of takedown events is getting fucking crazy.
I think it's 94-95 right now. I know another fighter that's up there is
RDA
Bobby
was up there for a while too.
96% right now.
Dude, Bobby Knuckles is takedown
and he
game.
won gold too at Australian Nationals in wrestling.
Dude, he's been wrestling his ass off ever since I saw him shut down Colton Smith in the Tough Smashes finale. I was like, God, this dude's for real. But yeah.
But hell yeah, man, I gotta check that out for sure. That sounds good.
It's super good. And Rogan, that whole episode's great. At the end, Rogan says they should do GSP versus Tyron in July. And Tyron does a whole pitch to GSP into the camera. It's real fun.
Oh yeah, there's one thing too I remember I mentioned. I need to hear him finish talking about it. I remember Tyron brought up the thing he thinks some of his opponents, like Lawler and Condit, get more respect than him. And Joe's like, you're crazy talking like that?
Yeah. But also, I think he's not wrong. I think people
Yeah, no, he's right and he's wrong, I think.
Well, and he, later on, he talks about, he hints for a good 20, 30 minutes. He's like, well, no, there's just some people in the top of the organization that always say stuff that ends up affecting my buys and affecting my popularity. Clearly hinting it's Dana for 25 minutes. And then eventually Rogan just doesn't get it. just doesn't get who he's talking about. And eventually he just goes, I mean, Dana said, like, all kinds of negative shit about, like, how my performance is and Damian Maya and bullshit. Yeah. And Rogan at that point was like, oh, yeah, well, you know, Dana's just Dana. He's gonna say stupid shit. Oh, Tyron also at one point, I almost put this as a clip. He talks about how one of the judges came up to him after the Stephen Thompson fight. He said,
I saw.
Yeah, he says the judge told him, I would have given you that round if you hadn't have gone for that guillotine.
No, he said I would have given you a 10-8.
Yeah, if you hadn't sat in that guillotine for a minute. We were like,
God.
dude, you can't lose points for going for a guillotine.
You should never tell someone that either.
Also, they should just never ever judge. That sounds like some Doug Crosby ass shit. Ugh, just crazy. But yeah, great episode. I know a lot of people hated it because Tyron comes off as whiny.
Oh no,
he's
like
not
every
wrong.
YouTube comment I saw is Tyron, that's racist, Woodley. Or Tyron, whiny, Woodley, or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, which is unfortunate. I mean, he gets the same kind of shit Daniel Cormier gets for no reason. We're like, bro, these are two of not only, like, the funniest, but the nicest fucking champs of all time, probably. And they just get shit on by the public. Oh, man. Anyway, what's your other catch for this week? Actually, wait. Go ahead and get into your other catch.
My other catches is Heavy Hands. I liked what they talked about.
Heavy Hands was good.
I like in the beginning how they went into the Choi and Stevens fight. Basically, we're talking about how both their styles, they're both basically just bangers of fighters. They both got crazy power in their right hand. Mm-hmm. It's all going to come down to what kind of pressure they have. They place upon each other.
Yep.
And I remember they were talking about Jeremy Stevens fighting off his back foot. Trying to remember how they were saying it. But basically they're saying, based on what I think they're saying, whoever can balance their back foot pressure more or drawing their power from their back foot will have like the advantage, I think, of it's just finding the shots kind of early. Because I think both of them picked Choi in the fight. I believe so. They both picked Choi because they think he's going to pressure Stevens too much. And Stevens hasn't done that well in the past against someone who's pressured him so relentlessly.
Yep.
I think that was a good point. I'm trying to remember what fight it was. I think it was Frankie Edgar that was pressuring him relentlessly, which, don't get me wrong, he did great against Frankie Edgar. I remember that was a good performance by Stevens for what he was able to do.
For sure. I think Connor at one point also talks about the tale of two Jeremys.
Yeah.
Like, where he breaks down some of the different, like, how Jeremy kind of has two different styles, and it's Jeremy's one of those guys that, like, I never feel like he implements the game plan that I expect him to implement. We'll talk about that more later. But yeah, that was a good episode overall. I also fucking mixed that up bad. I also liked how they talked about the Vitor versus Hall.
Yep.
Connor's like, it makes me sad and bored.
Well, yeah, they said Vitor, they said he's had a recent run of losses, but they've all been against top-level guys.
True, but they haven't been impressive against
and they said they think
guys.
Vitor will win if Hall decides to have a 15-minute brain fart.
I mean, or if fucking Vitor just
clips him early with, like, because he's got that speed still.
Well, yeah, what Vitor's going to do is 30 in the first 45.
You gotta hope he doesn't. You gotta hope Hall fucking puts him out early, right?
Yeah, well, right. But no, it's the same thing Vitor always does. He's going to sit around for, like, half a minute and a half. He's going to blitz for, like, a minute and a half. And then he's going to get taken down and get punched in the head a lot.
Yeah,
or just gas and panic. Like, there's a lot. This seems to be the only thing we see Vitor do anymore.
Yeah.
He still blitzes motherfuckers. He just fights every fight like it's fucking Vanderlei Silva in Brazil the first time.
Oh, man, that's right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, anyway. They said, interestingly enough, the Paige Van Zandt matchup against, what's her name? Jessica Rose Clark. I was going to say Amber Rose Clark. That doesn't sound right. Jessica
Amber Rose is a different person.
Yeah, a totally different person. The one thing that was interesting, they said Paige Van Zandt is going to have a very big size disadvantage. They said if she can get thrown around by an atomweight like Michelle Watterson and the other person, Rose Namajunas, who isn't exactly a big strawweight. What is a former bantamweight like Clark going to fucking do to her, especially in the clinch?
Yeah, Clark's way bigger, and Clark's like, she's pretty fucking strong. She did well against what's her face when she fought her, Beck.
Oh, Beck Rawlings, yeah.
Yeah, and Beck's pretty big. Like, Beck is, like, on that bubble of, like, she's definitely too big for 125.
Yeah, like, I know, was it Paige Van Zandt that knocked out Beck Rawlings? Yeah, with that kick. But that's because it was a kick.
Or not Beck. I'm thinking,
I'm confused.
No, you're right. I mixed up who I was talking about. I was talking about who Jessie just fought. You're right, she did fight Beck, right, at 125?
Yeah.
Because I forgot Beck moved up. That's right. I was trying to remember. She fought somebody at 35, though. That was like a solid 35er. I forget who. We'll talk about it later when we get to that.
Well, yeah, we'll pull it up or something. But, yeah, I thought that was a good point. They both like Rose Clark via decision. I kind of tuned out once they started talking about Kamaru Usman and Emil Mech, except they just kind of commented, Emil Mech is all-around well-versed fighter, but he's uninspiring.
Well, and he's just nowhere near Kamaru Usman's level right now.
It's just like an A-grade fighter versus a B-grade fighter.
Well, he just doesn't have the experience, or the ground game specifically. I mean, you got...
Like, who they say his best win is? Like, Paul Harris? What was the guy's name?
Yeah, the knockout over Paul Harris.
Paul Harris, yeah.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but I like that. It was a solid episode. I liked it. They kept it simple and effective. So.
Yeah, I agree. Big fan of it. Also, they did talk a tiny bit towards the end about... different techniques for watching fights, technically. And Connor talked about using soft eyes, which is the line from The Wire. Thought that was great. So, yeah, just good episode. It would have been on my list, but there was a lot of good shows this week. So, I got a couple catches, actually. I got The Morning Wood Show, episode 50, which is finally back after the hiatus. It was fucking solid. Tyron Woodley and Dean Thomas are the hosts, if you guys don't know. And like we said earlier, they haven't done a show in, 6 months probably?
Probably, yeah, somewhere around there.
So yeah, they just talk a lot about what they've been up to. Tyron talks recovering from labrum surgery. He does say he's still trying to return in the first quarter of 2018, which lines up with what he was saying on Rogan's podcast, or at least return to full training by then.
He probably doesn't obviously mention it, but I know he's been alluding to wanting a money fight. I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, he wants George O'Connor, obviously. He's called for that a bunch on Rogan. But he says, I've never not signed a battle agreement.
He'll fight anyone.
Yeah, but he's if I want a big fight, I want a George or O'Connor or a Nate.
I think he's just going to
He said Nate a couple times.
I think he's just going to end up fighting RDA because the style matchup's great for him. It's just fuck it, just get another title defense under my belt.
Yeah, and RDA wants that. He's earned it. He's the closest to that shot. One person I know he won't fight is Colby. At least not yet. Colby needs another win. Tyron won't do it. The way he was talking about Colby,
he said he's a queef, right?
Yeah. He was hinting about it being Colby, that he was motherfuckers just get title shots off talking nowadays, don't even fight. I fought fucking
part of me is this close to unfollowing Colby because it's to the point where it's so cringy now.
Well, also, the second you like Star Wars, you probably should have unfollowed Colby.
Well, see, I'm not a big enough Star Wars fan to give a fuck.
Right.
But yeah, he tries too hard. I don't know.
Colby
see for yourself. Look up Colby Covington or not.
Yeah, or not. That's also an option. Just buy a boomerang. That's the alternative.
Yeah.
Look up Colby or just buy a boomerang. I'm not gonna lie, I may or may not have Googled boomerangs on Amazon, or looked up boomerangs on Amazon after Fabricio hit him in the head with one. It's maybe I need a boomerang. You never know when shit's gonna get weird.
Yeah, especially if someone's gonna call cops on you.
Right. Well, that's true. Maybe I avoided a charge by not buying a boomerang yet. After that, the show gets pretty fucking Hollywood, because Dean takes a trip out to LA to hang out with Tyron and take some meetings with him. And Tyron, they talk about working out with Wiz Khalifa at Jay Glazer's gym.
What the fuck?
So a lot of acting talk, because Tyron was in the was in a movie with somebody. Like, he's been in a couple movies.
Oh, yeah.
But he was just in another one.
I remember
It's something, too. I forget what.
I know he was in a movie with Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis kills him in a movie, I think, or something like that.
Oh, don't worry. I've got these movies added to our fucking movies to watch on our shitty commentary list. So I also added Den of Thieves, which has Holloway. Yep. And it
plays like a garbage man or some shit.
It seems like it would be a fucking... It seems like it'll be...
I could already say, hey, man, it is what it is. I just take out the garbage.
Hey. Jesus. Tyron at one point starts talking about working with a rapper in a studio and laying down some tracks. It was just fucking real. It was real lame. For the first half, it was just like... I mean, it's just them talking about, like, Tyron did stand-up with Adam Hunter and, like...
Yeah, I heard about that.
And just, like, all the shit that they're up to, because they both... I mean, Dean does stand-up and does improv and is trying out for acting roles, and Tyron has had, like, a couple big acting roles lately. So, talked about that, and then they started talking 219 and the Holly vs. Cyborg fight. And they're both calling for Amanda Nunes versus Chris after seeing the Cyborg performance.
I mean, that's the fight to make.
Well, Dean is the trainer for Amanda Nunes.
That's right.
And Amanda...
Is he kind of hush-hush on it?
Well, no. He said a couple weeks back, he was talking to Amanda, and Amanda's saying, like, I want the winner of that fight.
Yeah.
Before Cyborg won. She's like, either way, I want the winner of that fight. At 145. And then Amanda really likes her chances, which both of them do as well, against Cyborg. And I fucking like him too. I think that's why Cyborg doesn't want this fight. I think her team knows, hey, we can get an easy win and an easy payday, and you don't have to fight fucking Amanda Nunes, who is probably the worst style matchup for you. I mean, Amanda Nunes is a fucking monster.
Yeah, not a good
She throws so much goddamn heat, and she's really good in the clinch on the ground, which is like...
She's like the same... I mean, she's not, like, as big as far as, like, mass-wise, but she's the same height.
She's not that much smaller.
She's the same height. They're both 5'8".
And she hits way harder.
Than Holly, yeah.
No, than Cyborg. Amanda hits harder than Cyborg. Cyborg hits hard with volume. Like, because Cyborg doesn't just one-punch KO bitches. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah, it always has been volume instead of, like, one-hitter quitters.
Right. Like, I mean, there's a couple in Invicta where she hits a girl and the girl dies. But...
Yeah, like a knee or some shit. Something crazy.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, we gotta see that fight happen.
For sure. I think it'll be fantastic. They talk a lot about that. They talk about how scary... fucking Usman is and how he's a beast in that division. They talk about Dean makes a powerful Paul Harris reference. Keeps calling him Paul Harris the entire time.
Paul Harris.
Well, that's like the old joke that everyone does. And Tyron doesn't get it for like the first 3 times. He's like, the fucking Brazilian leg locker, Paul Harris. He's like, fucking. It's great. And they're both super high on Choi. Tyron says Choi might have the second best right hand in all of MMA, saying he has the best.
That one knockout against Tavares is pretty impressive, though, the way he lands that straight right.
Yeah, and like it's cool because they talk a lot about how Duo Choi throws the right hand, and Tyron actually, this is part of the reason why I gave it my pick. Tyron step by step breaks down how he throws his right hand to catch people. Like, he breaks down the difference between how Choi throws it,
looks at him like
and how he
and then he throws it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. That's not even our artwork for this week. If you've seen our artwork, it is a sweet, sweet picture of the fancy boy.
Dat Boy Choi, as they call him on Reddit.
Dat Boy Choi, the fancy one. Drinking some wine, eating some cheese. Like a fancy young fella. But there's also a great picture that we almost used.
As Joe Rogan might call him, adorable.
Yeah, you can find it on his Instagram. He's wearing a black and white hat, and it's fucking...
It's like a sun hat, almost, it looks like.
It's real good. But yeah, it was just a good episode overall, and I really like Tyron and Dean. I think they are a lot of fun together. And we should mention on our intro, we had Masvidal talking about getting paid that Universal money after the aliens start...
We're gonna fight Galactus.
Yeah, after the aliens invaded.
Yeah.
Which is fucking great. I'll talk about what show that was from a bit more later. It was MMA Junkie. It was great, but god damn it, Masvidal has some of the best interviews. He always has some like minute long thing that he says that I'm like, holy shit. Well, I know that has to be a clip because it's goddamn ridiculous. He has some Joey Diaz to him, where you're like, no matter what, at one point when Masvidal talks, he's gonna say some shit that you're like, damn, people need to hear this because it's fucking great.
Because I know he's still trying to get a fight with Bisping, even though that'll probably never happen. I shouldn't say never, but...
Yeah. He's pitching. They're both pitching for it. Well, he's pitching for it. I don't think Bisping
doesn't give a shit.
Because I don't think Bisping wants that fight because it does nothing for him but make him look bad if he loses.
Yeah, like you lost to a lightweight.
Nothing.
Way to go.
There's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing good.
Well, he's a former lightweight.
And if he wins, it's like the most nothing win of all time. It's like, oh, you beat a fucking 155er, bro. Way to go.
You're a 170er, I guess, but
still.
Yeah. A small one. He's not really a small welterweight, but...
No, yeah. But he wasn't a big lightweight either. Like, or that, compared to, like, the motherfucking, whatchamacallit, the,
fucking James Vick.
That was the one guy. I was throwing straight punches trying to remember his name. Yeah. Exactly.
Those motherfuckers.
Yeah, man, but it was just really solid. The other catch that I had this week, since I wanted to give out two... since we've been gone and there was a bunch of good shows, MMA Road Show, 146.
That's my can't miss.
No, there we go. Damn, we're just fucking covering all kinds of shit. Yeah, John Morgan's fucking fantastic. He enjoys his frosty beverages as we do on this show.
It is barbecue, dude. And I was listening out like, fuck, he's in. I know, like, there's that big rivalry barbecue. I know St. Louis is pretty much next to Kansas City, so they pretty much probably have. When they have their own style barbecue too. What is it? It's like, I know supposedly the creme de la creme is in Memphis, Tennessee. I've never been there, so I can't comment.
Yeah, I don't know.
Texas, Texans have their own, especially with brisket. They got their. And John was saying, I'm from Texas. The brisket wasn't, Texas brisket,
right?
But, that kind of thing. But I was like, "Fuck, dude, I want to get some barbecue."
Yeah, all the barbecue talk was all the barbecue and frosty beverages talk was like, "Oh man, I should not be listening to this at 8 in the morning." Because that's like normally on Fridays. I don't talk about this show nearly enough because we don't record it on Fridays that often. But this is generally the show that I put on, like, okay, Friday morning, going to work, listen to some MMA Road Show, and then eventually, by the time that show ends, fucking the weigh-ins will be happening. And then I can hear Ariel's weird golf commentary on the weigh-ins, which is subtly the best podcast of all time. It's so much better than the MMA Hour. It's just Ariel reading fucking weird city facts while he watches people weigh in. It's like, oh, the drama. St. Louis is home of the 99-cent cheeseburger, or whatever, like, weird fucking fact he Googled at the time.
Great blues from St. Louis. Whatever, legend such as this. Oh, here we go, he's coming on scale. It's
so dumb. But anyway, back to MMA Road Show. Yeah, he is, so of course, if you guys don't know this show, John Morgan hosts, he's the guy in the blue shirt that you see cage side, and he is... in St. Louis. He generally goes, like, in 90% of these cards, he's going to be on site.
He's always traveling, yeah.
Yeah, because he's the guy who records the weigh-ins and stuff for MMA Junkie. And he does all the on-site interviews and all that. And you always hear him at the press conferences and post-fight press conferences asking super poignant questions, getting ready to drink some sweet frosty beverages from Ballast Point. Which we should mention, we're not drinking Ballast Point this week. We're actually drinking St. Archer's Blackberry Goes.
Now I think about it, as far as, like... I know we like to mix it up with the beers we drink, but I definitely think out of all the San Diego beers, the two San Diego brands we've definitely repped the most are Ballast Point and St. Archer, I'd say, for sure.
I think so, for sure. But
St. Archer's probably our other go-to for the San Diego beers.
I guess it's just, I don't know.
They always have a lot of seasonals.
I guess we do a decent amount of stone repping, too.
Yeah, those are like the three San Diegos.
Probably, yeah. And then a decent amount of, like, whatever trash beer I'm drinking, like Busch Light. I picked up regular Busch. I've been so into Busch lately. I should rephrase that. I've been so into the beer spelled with B-U-S-C-H lately.
I love George W. Bush.
Oh, God, yeah. Let's pretend like we were talking about that one. Do it, boy. Definitely not the one with the H. I heard he's a grabber.
Well, he's practically dying, so he might get a pass.
Well, they should all be so fortunate that those fuckers die off. Anyway, interview. Oh, so John plays a bunch of interviews during this episode.
I loved his interview
Which one? Because they're all great. Like Dwayne Bang Ludwig one, he taped it.
I like how he kind of discussed the Bang Muay Thai system, kind of going back to his sensei, Boss Rutan.
Yep.
Has like combines with a karate style as far as just like how the rankings go, and it's kind of more or less on what is it? It's not like, how did he describe it as far as how you climb the ranks? It feels like it's really cooperative as far as like who you're with in your class and stuff like that. It's like all a team effort.
For sure.
It's like, damn, this dude sounds like a real good ass head coach for sure, man. Like this dude wants you to fucking succeed.
Yeah, and I mean he fought his ass off. Like people underrate.
He's had some good performances too in the past.
He had some fucking great fights. Like him and Pulver didn't last long, if I remember right. But
he knocked a dude out in 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. I think he has the fastest. No, I think it might be less than 6. I think the record is 6, but I think it's actually like 4.5. Yeah. But yeah, he had some crazy fucking fights. I want to say he beat the shit out of Thomas the Wildman Denny at one point. Pretty badly, I want to say, or maybe they just both had crazy hair back then. And
Didn't he fight like someone like Carlos Noon?
I always mix up a lot of
No, Carlos Noon's bigger. Ludwig was a lightweight, right? Yeah, he was a 155er.
Right, Newton's a 70.
I remember he fought. You showed me this video probably like 2 or 3 years ago. It was this Japanese guy where he kept going like this.
Oh, yeah.
So
What's
weird,
his name?
and Ludwig's like, what the fuck's going on?
I forget that dude's name.
Yeah,
I want to
so
say
weird.
like Manoa or somebody like that. That's
He was a
not
Japanese
right.
guy.
No, I know.
He
It
wore
was
that
in Pride.
shiny golden robe.
Yeah, no, it's
and he literally would just turn his back to and Ludwig, I think, kicked him in the face and like knocked him the fuck out.
Yeah, no, everyone is screaming into the mic. I know Judo Bill Tyler is like, God damn it, it's obviously that dude. I can't remember his name right now. Anyway, we'll keep moving on. But yeah, that's a great fight. Go look up some of Dwayne Van Ludwig's Pride fights or fights in K1 and stuff like that. Actually, I don't know if it was Pride.
That was in the UFC, dude.
Was it in the UFC?
It was in Octagon, yeah. I'm pretty sure it was in the UFC.
Oh my god. Oh, that was that weird period where there was still some of them coming over, right?
Well, and there was this guy, there's a Japanese guy come out with this weird white mask, kind of like a golden robe.
God,
That's when the UFC still had like those walkout theatrics.
I have the vaguest, drunkest memories about this. This sounds familiar. We'll look it up during the break. You know what? We'll watch it during the break and we'll talk about it when we come back. But yeah, John had a bunch of good interviews though. Yeah. He also talked to Conan Silveira.
Conan Silveira, yeah, one of the head coaches of the American Top Team.
Yep.
I like how he kind of. I know people with the brain who know, like, obviously no Brazilian fighters are going to fucking hate on Colby, sure, for what he said. It's already been discussed. Well, yeah, I could see that
Fabricio.
Issue. Yeah, Fabricio.
Actually, anyone...
But I'm saying at ATT, though. Like, his teammates. Like,
no,
he says no one gives a fuck.
Idiot.
Yeah.
And then he's just talking to talk.
Yeah, that's literally what he says. Like, they don't give a fuck. Like, it's all blood in proportion, so... And he was saying...
Meanwhile, Cyborg's releasing statements talking shit on Conan Silveira for backing Colby.
Yeah, right. What did Conan say? They asked, John asked him, hey, if it came down to, Woodley does fight Colby, is that a problem? They're like, no, we've done it before. We've already have contingency plans in place as far as, coaching who.
I mean, like, he fought Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only dude Tyron isn't fighting is Askren. It's the only fight that's not happening. And it's good, because I don't want to watch that fight. Either way, I'd be sad by that fight. Even though that's probably the best. I think that's probably the most competitive welterweight fight of all time. But it's alright. We could have Khabib versus Askren for the second most competitive welterweight fight of all time.
Yeah, would be interesting. I liked how Conan talked about Kyoji he talked about Amanda Nunes fighting Cyborg.
Yep.
He says, I know some people think, Brazilians don't want to fight each other. It's like they don't care. Some don't want to fight each other.
Cyborg seems like she don't really want to fight Amanda Nunes.
Yeah.
Amanda Nunes I've heard 4 different people say this week on podcasts say Amanda Nunes wants to fight Cyborg.
Wants to be a champ.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like that's a weight class she could defend too. I mean, clearly, because there's no one.
She's a big 35er.
Yeah.
Like, she is way stronger than most of the 35ers.
Yeah, she's definitely big, very strong. They talked Kyoji Horiguchi. He talked about, I remember we watched him fight, what was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, Ryzen.
Yeah. And they're saying, fuck, how would he do now against DJ,
Dude, he is fucking guys up in Japan in like an unfair way. He is fucking dudes up. He's so far ahead of everybody. It's pretty crazy. I wish we would have seen him versus McCall.
Yeah.
But fucking Manel Cape had to be a dick and headbutt McCall, and then McCall had to rub his face on the ropes.
The rope, yeah.
Jesus. Fucking Japan.
John talked about Duho Choi won't get a title shot this year only because, well, I remember someone brought it up last week. They said, theoretically, what would happen if Choi were to become champion this year? Would that nullify him from having to do mandatory military service?
No.
No.
I doubt South Korea military gives a fuck about a UFC title.
Yeah, they don't give shit. And that would suck, too. Like, hey, you're champ. All right, bye. You gotta get rid of your belt.
Yeah, there's no way he's gonna get that. Which I think Brendan Schaub was the first guy to say, oh, well, wait until the UFC, you have military service. Never gonna get a title shot before that then. And then...
we'll find out when we look on shirt. I think Choi is like, what? Oh, no, it's always before your 30th birthday. I think you have to serve...
I thought it was like 24 or something like that.
He ain't that young.
Yeah, that's true. Because
Choi's at least like
TKZ
26.
just did his. Yeah, it's got to be 30.
I think it's 30.
But no, I heard he only has 1 year until he has to do it, though.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. We'll look it up. Here, keep talking. I'll pull it. I got it.
Yeah, but John was talking about he favors Choi in this fight, and they're saying, yeah, theoretically he could fight maybe like 4. He is 26, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, maybe it's got to be 27.
It was like 28 or 30, I think.
Maybe it's 28, something like that. I think it's before you turn
28, something weird like that. But yeah, John's leaning Choi in this fight. He's saying, sure, he can fight 3-4 times this year. At best, say he gets 3. Right now he's ranked, what, like 13? If he wins, say, 3 times this year, that at least puts him outside the top 5. Probably in the
Choi?
top 5. Yeah, if he wins 3 times, fuck yeah.
Dude, I don't know if he's going to get 3 fights in this.
Oh, I doubt it. But, like, say, if he did, he'd be in the top 5 by the end of the year, 100%. No, if he won 3 wins.
Yeah, dude, 3 wins, he would be up there for a title shot. Yeah. Like, if not...
But then it'd be too late. Like, oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, I think he's, like, they like that kid a lot.
Well, Dana wants to push him in L.A., too, because of the big Korean population in L.A.
Yeah.
Because I remember when he had fought against Cub Swanson, Dana had this thing he put out about Choi. He fucking personally went to, like, L.A. and started putting all these posters, like, in Koreatown and stuff with Choi's face on it. And
he personally paid someone to go to L.A. and put posters up of Choi.
No, but, like, like, there's videos of, the marketing and all that stuff. And, Dana's a good businessman. Obviously, we want to promote the right fighter.
Yeah.
Well, to an extent.
Dana's good at hanging out with good businessmen.
Yes, that's what we should say.
But yeah, Choi is a motherfucker. We'll talk about that later. But that podcast was solid though. There was a couple other interviews, right?
Yeah, I had ended it.
Oh, the Vitor podcast, or you talked the Vitor podcast.
That's right. You talked to Vitor.
Yeah,
he was talking about he has like a brand of like health products.
Yeah, Vitor's always pitching something.
Well, why not?
Yeah, he's talking about how
he does live in California, so there you go.
Yeah, Vitor has lots of ideas about stuff. And he says he is going to retire after the Uriah Hall fight, which we'll see. I don't believe you. Let's see.
He finishes him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm back.
Jesus, yeah. He also plays an interview with Uriah Hall, talking about his comeback against Jocko and how it was like a big changing point in his career.
Right, yeah.
Really,
did he say like he wanted to quit almost in that fight?
Yeah, he literally said like at one point he just said, fuck this shit, and just knocked him out. Which is like a crazy, but that's the kind of thing that you like watch his fights, you're like, dude, just pull the goddamn trigger for once. Just smash a motherfucker.
Well, yeah, ever sinst he almost killed a man, yeah. Yeah, Adam Sella, whatever.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Sorry, Adam.
But yeah, that was bad, man. It was bad. But yeah, Uriah, really good. Your interview with Uriah Hall. John Morgan even jokes about like, dude, Uriah, you used to hate the media and clearly didn't like talking to us, but you're way better nowadays. Like, what changed? They talk about all that. Kamaru Usman did an interview sounding hyped as fuck and very terrifying, talking about how he's gonna fuck dudes up and
did he fucking speak in Nigerian again and scare everyone?
No, but that is the scariest goddamn promo I've ever heard in my life. And he did have, that was where he talked about how he's not in this to take damage. Like, he will just win the way that he can clearly win, and he's not interested. And he says he's one of those dudes who's like, fuck performance, or fuck fight of the night. I want performance of the night. Like, if two dudes go in trying to get performance of the night, that's how you get a fight of the night. I never want to be just slugging it out with somebody for no reason. She's like, well, shouts out to this Emil Meek fight. Because it sounds like a takedown to me.
Yeah, so I think he's good. Well, yeah, we'll talk about it when we preview in the other segment.
Since somebody on the fantasy league has a fucking Kamaru Usman, which is so jealous. I almost picked him up, and I think I was the one that told you to pick him up in the draft.
Well, how about this? I'll make a proclamation. If I end up catching you and I win the corner, I'll trade you Usman.
For who?
I don't know. We'll figure something out, but you know.
Yeah, what I mean? We'll see. Yeah, dude. Yeah, if you win, maybe.
We'll see. So.
Since it looks like we're gonna be neck and neck for this.
We gotta watch out for that Snow White guy. He's actually 5 points behind you. I'm 10.
Yeah, but I don't think he even has a fight pick.
Oh no, yeah, I don't think he has anyone left. Yeah.
So.
And then your boy Sid Yee, a grand total of 68 points.
Oh boy.
Oh my. Got on Ronda and Connor.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And then I think the only other thing was he played an interview with Thiago Alves talking about how he had to drop out of his last fight because of the hurricane and everything happened down in Florida.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, his family was okay.
Yeah, and they had to remake his fight. So good, just a good episode. Great example why that show is solid. A lot of interviews with John Morgan and fighters. John Morgan talking about barbecue and tasty beverages, and like he shouts out the fighter hotel for anyone that's like in the city that wants to go see it, like try to get a picture, an autograph or something. He just straight up shouts out the name of the hotel. Also shouts out the name of the hotel.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's staying at too, just being like, "Hey, this is a great hotel if you're ever in St. Louis." Like that. His show is almost like half Travel Channel show, half MMA, and it's pretty solid. And he's sponsored by Ballast Point, for fuck's sake. Every time I tweet out about how John Morgan is talking about Ballast Point, because I think it's dope, Ballast Point always likes it on Twitter also, which is great. So, thought that was fun, and yeah, really solid episode. So why don't we get to your skip for this week?
I hate having...
Oh, we should give our disclaimers. So skips, just because we're saying to skip your show, doesn't mean you should skip the show forever. But this episode was not worth the amount of time we had to take to listen to it. So
yeah, and I think I've already... I didn't want to have to skip this one. I think I've already done it twice now to start the new year. Unfiltered. Goddamn.
They put out a lot. Which one? Because they put out a lot of shows.
But yeah, to be fair, they put out 2 a week. So, I mean, it was the one with Vitor. Because the reason why I'm saying skip is because the whole time during Vitor was talking... You can almost hear Matt trying not to fucking laugh into the microphone, being all giddy for some reason, and it was really distracting. And like, what's going on? There's that. Matt, of course, was talking about his new Battle Royale PUBG-like game he's playing on his HTC Vive for about 25 minutes.
Fucking Matt has been out of control. He gave that a Steam name on the episode with Donald Cerrone. He's like talking about what he should change his name on Steam to.
Oh, to Cerrone, or like he's telling Cerrone.
Just on that episode, they're talking to Norton about it, and Matt says he comes up with some terrible names too, like Kimura and Espressos, I think was one of the names he came up with.
I mean, to be fair, the one interesting part of the episode, he talked about his life as a security guard when he was like training and like trying to pay the bills. That was kind of interesting because he said that job was so terrible.
I bet.
And he awkwardly would bring like half of a mannequin doll that he would practice his fucking grappling on.
What? What a goddamn crazy person.
I know, he'd bring it with it like in his backpack, and like someone else's jaw was like, what the fuck is that guy doing in that booth? Like this fucking like wrestling a fake doll or some
That's
shit.
Amazing.
And he said, yeah, Jimmy, I had my comic book collection too. The job sucked. So that was kind of funny. But other than that, it was just that Jimmy kept talking about how he hates the movie Taken and how Liam Neeson dyes his hair with soy sauce.
That sounds like some Jim Norton-esque lines.
Yeah, and he's like, fuck that movie. I like the movie Taken out because it's goofy as shit.
I don't remember it. I saw it like fucking 7 years ago, and I barely remember it.
His daughter gets kidnapped, that kind of thing.
He has a very particular set of skills, I hear.
Yeah. I think the greatest part of that movie is when that creepy French guy named Peter gets in a cab with him, and he fucking punches the dude like right in his sternum, and the guy ends up getting hit by a truck on the freeway. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Checks out.
I thought that was great, but yeah, unfortunately I gotta skip it because I don't know, I just feel like they weren't interested in Vitor's interview, unfortunately, and they're kind of being bored.
Understandably. My skip for this week is actually the 2017 Anik Florian Podcast Awards. I fucking love these award shows every other year. However...
Do they kind of rush it?
Well, there's just a couple problems with it. Like, so they give out their awards like always, but the audio production is no longer done by TJ DeSantis.
Oh.
So, like, it's not TJ's audio guy, it's not TJ's announcer, and they just did a kind of fucking lackluster job. All the fucking levels for all the introductions for all their awards, the levels were terrible. It was really quiet. It sounded fucked up. There was like no bed or anything that faded out after the award. It was like a weird, like it would play like an awkward amount of time to where there was like a 3-second pause after the award intro stopped playing and they started talking. Like it was just terribly done. And the only reason that's the case is because TJ mentioned recently on one of the Between Rounds podcasts that Fox basically said they have to use their own producer for that show. And that's why you don't hear TJ on it. But, man, just kind of a fucking bummer. It's really poorly executed and just kind of took away from what has been a great fucking feature of past years. So that was a bummer. Longo calls in to give his pick for Fight of the Year and talk about where the team is at. That was alright. And Jeremy Stevens calls in and talk about fighting Choi and prepping an alliance. That was good. But yeah, just a fucking bummer, man. It just bummed me out mostly.
That's a shame.
And speaking of being bummed out, the Big Brown Breakdown, episode 61, is my second pick for Skip for this week.
Did he talk about how he knows the Punisher again?
Dog, you're so close. Okay,
Batman?
Here. Dog, let me guess.
He went more hipster and it's like, remember the movie A Watchman?
No.
It was so like Rorschach, bro?
We'll get to it. So here, let me just read my notes. Brendan talks about only liking Campari sodas. That's the only booze he likes. Which, first off, what the fuck?
Wait, what?
He only likes Campari and soda. Like, that's his only alcoholic drink he drinks. Which is, like, the weirdest old lady drink of all time.
How do you not at least have a fucking beer in your repertoire?
I think he might do the Ariel thing of saying Guinness is good sometimes, but not ever wanting one. Fucking. Anyway, he talks about throwing up in an Uber after the Golden Globes. Brennan talks about quitting coffee and feeling like he's dying. He talks about the new Netflix ranking system. And Jesus Christ, what is this show? This was supposed to be the MMA show. Remember, he was like, oh, I don't want to just do Fighter and the Kid. I want to have a show where I can talk about MMA. It's just coffee and fucking the Golden Globes and fucking Netflix rankings.
So he must have a decent agent. He's going to the Golden Globes or something.
He worked the Golden Globes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He was one of the people on TV for it. It's pretty crazy. But I just don't give a fuck. Man, Brendan at one point informs us that Showtime is the only reason Mayweather vs. McGregor wasn't a circus. Showtime being involved is the only reason it wasn't a circus.
I can believe that.
It was a circus, first off. Second off, Showtime being involved added nothing.
I think he meant more of a circus.
Right, but even still, I don't think it makes any difference.
Yeah.
At all. I think the only difference is Connor can make fun of a TV exec to his face. It's about the only difference.
That was entertaining.
And the UFC doesn't have to pay as much because they don't have to pay for production. It's like the only two differences. Man, it's just ridiculous. There's like what feels like 5 hours of talk about WME super fights, which he's all against now, even though he was the guy pushing for all those fucking fights in the first place.
Chris, how would you think about Demi Lovato versus Paige Van Zandt versus Ronda Rousey?
Jesus Christ. Brendan also keeps saying that Francis should go. Here's some quotes for you that you'll enjoy.
He should fight Anthony Joshua?
No, he should, in his promotion style, go full Bane. Just go dark. Go full Bane. He says that phrase like 10 times. He also still hasn't mentioned that there's a card happening this weekend, an hour and 17 minutes into Big Brown Breakdown. The last word is breakdown.
Not gonna lie though, if Francis Ngannou did wear if he wore a Predator mask for the film Predator, or if he wore like a Bane mask, that would be entertaining, especially if you heard him talk.
He wants him to go full Bane for sure.
Fuck racism.
Terrible. It's everything's terrible. He does, to credit to Brennan, he does spend the last 13 minutes of the Big Brown Breakdown breaking down the card this weekend. But he does also mention that they're going to try and do a fight companion for it, which is dope. But yeah, I would recommend skipping that because he doesn't talk about MMA. He talks about Conor McGregor, and he talks about he does talk about UFC Hawaii uninformed while being uninformed about recent, like, that the UFC's down there talking to the Hawaii Travel Commission or whatever the fuck entity that they would
tourism,
talk to.
Whatever.
Yeah, tourism board. Thank you. But yeah, just super skippable. And we already talked about your can't miss, didn't we?
Yep.
What was it again? Just so we shout it out.
Road Show. Yeah, we just.
Cool. And then my can't miss. Well, one of my can't misses was the JRE MMA Show number 10 in Tyron.
Yep.
My other can't miss was fucking fantastic, Chris, and it's our second clip for this week. The Halfcast podcast episode number 4, where they had Mark Hunt.
Okay.
It is fantastic. If you guys don't remember, Halfcast podcast is Tyson Pedro and Tai Tuivasa.
Still Hunt suing the UFC.
I don't know if that's still happening. He seems less angry, but he's probably still suing them.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Rode, the microphone company, Rode, RODE, sent him out some mics, which is pretty fucking dope.
That's cool.
They sound way better. Although Tyson's level was a little low, but other than that, they sounded fucking way better. Right up to the top, they point out that they're 3 of the 4 Polynesians on the UFC Perth card, which is fucking cool.
That's cool. That's important too.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. And yeah, they just asked Mark a bunch of fucking stories they wanted to hear him talk about. Like, they're like, "Yo, do you have any old crazy Pride stories?" So Mark talks about, like, seeing, being there when Wanderlei got knocked out by Crazy Horse.
Oh, yeah.
And all the craziness around that. Mark at one point talks about why he wrote his book, since just like to help people and stuff like that. Talks about steroids and why he speaks up against them. They do give some shout outs to Nowitzki at one point. Mark calls Nowitzki a good cunt, which I thought was a fucking amazingly like Aussie, New Zealand thing to do. Let's see. Mark Hunt tells stories about Mark Coleman and Kevin Randleman in Japan, which is actually going to be our clip, which you guys will hear. It's fucking a great story. Then a lot of the show is just them making fun of each other. Like, they're showing photos of terrible, like, promo pictures they've done. And let me see. Did I download this picture? I want to say I did. Is this the picture? I think it is. There it is. Mark Hunt with his weird, sexy picture with his arm over his head.
It's funny.
It's just a lot of that, of them clowning each other. Also, at some point, someone's kid is in the background eating grapes, and you can hear it on mic. You can see him in the background. It's really confusing, but it's pretty funny. And then also Tyson Pedro has cornrows right now, which is fucking weird. Tyson Tuivasa makes fun of him. He's like, you should cut it, or you should cut your hair. And Tyson Pedro says, you should cut your weight, and slaps him on the stomach.
Jesus.
Fucking great. But Mark Hunt talks a lot about how he loves Counter-Strike, and it's his fucking jam.
Oh, shit.
And how he wants to start a Twitch channel soon. So
that sounds so.
rad.
I feel like it just be him, not cunt. You know, just like going around the corner.
Well, there's stories of him like chasing down people from like fucking that were talking shit in chat, and it turned out to be like a 10-year-old kid. They actually talk about it on the show. It's great.
Oh God.
And I heard he wants to start a Twitch channel. And I heard Tanya Evinger wants to start a Twitch channel,
sounds interesting.
which she actually tweeted us about this week. Because we tweeted out.
I wonder what game she would play.
I don't know. I would assume like some RimWorld type fucking like strategy shit or something like that.
Oh, like a real-time strategy game.
I don't know what Tanya plays. Maybe or my favorite option would be, what if Tanya doesn't play video games and she just tries video games and gets real angry at them? Yeah. I feel like that would be maybe the best show.
Okay, that sounds kind of funny.
Tanya's I would watch anything Tanya does. Tanya and Leslie Smith, they are the motherfucking funniest. Let's see. They also, the only other thing I wanted to shout out from that is Mark Hunt did mention that after he leaves the UFC, him and Ray Sefo do want to do a rematch, which would be fucking dope. And they talk a bit about their upcoming fights, but it's fucking great. It's Mark Hunt, Tai Tuivasa, and Tyson Pedro all just talking shit on each other, and with some great goddamn accents, and they're just all funny as hell. I liked it a lot. Mark Hunt yells about steroid boys and the bald cunt, and it's all good. I enjoyed it.
It always reminds me of someone always putting like that copy paste thing when he said that thing like, "What do you think you're gonna fucking do, you stupid fuckwit? You think it whatever it was he'd said?"
Yeah.
And it was like a phone call or some shit. Like you'll see that just creep in on pages. And
yep.
Like, God damn it.
100%.
Falling down the rabbit hole again.
Always. So were there any new shows that you checked out this week?
Not this week. No.
Cool. Well, I do have two, as a matter of fact. Because, again, I doubled up on everything this week to make up for being a drunk shit show last week. And because we've been off and there's been a ton of good content. I checked out the Loaded Joe's MMA podcast, which I've been meaning to check out. It's hosted by Blake. I checked out the MMA podcast, I checked out the Holiday Weekend and Fan Questions episode that he did, which is basically just like a hangout fucking episode. They are located in Austin, or he's located in Austin, which is pretty cool. I wrote down, does this music bed run for the entire show? Yeah, the music bed runs in the background of the entire show.
It's music.
I don't know why he does it, but he does it. He just lets the music bed run the whole time.
Is it pretty distracting?
No, because I keep forgetting it's happening, and then like every 15 minutes, I'll be like, oh shit, there's still music in the background. It's weird. The guy has a fucking funny and weird delivery. Like, he sounds like Hedberg, kinda, and he is from Austin, which is where Hedberg is from. He sounds like a weird, like, here's a good example. He says, I expect a certain level of drinkery. I need a tulip glass is what I'm saying. Just like shit like that where you're like, that's so fucking weirdly specific. The way you said it and the words you used. That
as long as he's not like that, like your boy talking about Lineker.
No, it's not like, it's not intentional, clearly. It's just how he talks.
It's funny.
It just kept reminding me a little bit of Hedberg. It just in like his weird delivery. I really liked it. I thought it was funny. He's talked about he got super into stouts recently. And Chris, I mentioned this to you earlier. The first question he received is from Zach at Loudmouth MMA. So they are unbanned.
Oh, the guy that said, "What are you, a homosexual?"
Yeah.
Jesus.
They're unbanned. So I'm going to catch another episode. We'll cover that on a new podcast in the future. Or I will, anyway.
Yeah.
Just because I like this show enough that if the dude is writing into it, and I know he's friends with the dude, gonna have to give that one a second listen. Because, dude, maybe he was just, like, if you listen to last week's episode, you'd be like, Jesus Christ, did you really say that terrible nickname 3 times? I was like, yeah, you probably said it more than 3 times.
Jesus, yeah. Well, they did say they are white trash from Xenia, Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually, they seem alright, so I will, we'll check them out again.
Yeah, I'm about to give him another shot. Give him a rebuttal.
Yep. But yeah, he talks, so dude, Blake talks a ton about just different stouts he got into, like Southern Tier's Warlock, Pumpkinator. He talks about Old Rasputin. It basically was a beer podcast. Very little MMA talk. Basically at all. But that was like, they do a couple episodes a week. And one of them just like a fucking take questions and hang out kind of one. And that was that. I also listened to his breakdown of the Fight Night 124 Stevens vs. Choi card. Again, there's a music bed in the background, so disclosure for anybody that bugs the shit out of. I thought it would bug me more. It doesn't bug me that bad. There's something about his weird drawl in the beat that he has in the background is like
kind of like syncs up.
It doesn't bother me. I don't know why. But he does break down in that episode Duho Choi versus Jeremy Stevens. Here's a quote. Man ain't had a KO since 2015 and went 3-3 since. Like, all right, that's pretty good. Oh, he keeps saying the word warmonger.
Isn't it just warmonger?
And he keeps saying warmonger, which is really funny to me. I don't know why, but I liked it a lot.
That's like calling someone Lord of War instead of Warlord.
Right. It was just a weird extra ER on the end of that I thought was a lot of fun. He does talk. He does talk about how he thinks Choi won't be dragged into a brawl again, like he was in the Cub fight.
In the Cub fight, yeah.
And he likes Choi by second round KO. He also breaks down the Belfort versus Hall card. Just a lot of fun, man. Like he also has done I think 4 episodes this week, all about a half hour long. He also did an interview with Brad Kohler, former UFC fighter, who actually, while we're recording this, is hosting an event called Gender Wars, where a dude's fighting a chick in a fucking warehouse in Russia. So that's like happening.
Terrible fucking idea.
Yeah, I'm not spending $10 to support that garbage show because it's fucking pay-per-view only. So get excited for some terrible fucking gifs on Reddit tomorrow. That reminds me of
that guy who, that bodybuilder or supposed bodybuilder that challenged Cody Garbrandt to a fight, and he wanted to put it for $10.
I heard that dude's dead.
Okay, why'd I laugh?
Because he was a piece of shit.
Okay, he's a shithead, but yeah, the guy's fucking dead.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh, man.
Rest in pieces. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
That dude, that dude, well, he could die. And
I don't feel bad for him. I feel bad for his family.
I don't really.
Maybe
they're part of the problem, probably. If I was putting money on it. And the other episode I listened to this week, getting back on topic, is Talking Brawls, episode 167. This is the podcast hosted by Niall and Pete, a.k.a. Peter Carroll, who are from Severe MMA. Like, you always hear those dudes talk about Pete. And yeah, it's a good show. Super Irish, obviously. Not obviously Fight Talk, but also super Irish. They do a lot of discussion about Cage Warriors and some of the talent on their upcoming cards. Javier Mendez calls in.
Oh, cool.
He talks about Khabib's performance and DC's upcoming fight. Talks about like potential upcoming fights for Khabib. Talks about Luke training with Henry Hoof. But in the background at some point during this episode, someone starts hammering like next door or something. So like I would just every like 30 seconds or so you would just hear like a but like way less it's like a thud in the background, like a but like on the wall to the point where it would vibrate the mic.
Oh shit.
So like you could just barely hear it, but all you would hear was the bass from it, and it was so fucking distracting. Luckily, it didn't last that long, but it did go on for a bit. In the meantime, while that was happening, Niall and Pete started pitching themselves on like, oh, Connor's ramping up for a return. But then they immediately get depressed thinking about like, it seems like it's probably going to be Connor Floyd too, which would be the biggest goddamn bummer. And that is the moment that I realized that listening to people talk about whether or not Connor will fight someone in boxing that I don't give a shit about, well, someone hammers in the background, that's my own personal hell, Chris. That's my least favorite combination of things in the goddamn world. I decided. It was I like this show, but holy shit, at a certain point I was like, if this was what this show was, this would be my least favorite show that ever existed. It was rough. But they had a lot of good insight, especially about the UK MMA scene. They do talk a handful about what Gunnar Nelson's like upcoming options are at 170.
He wants to fight Till.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's his wolf tickets.
I don't think Till wants that fight. I don't think that fight does shit for Till. And also it's a bad matchup for Till, it seems like. But maybe not.
Yeah, like, Ponzinibbio is a striker and he was able to do pretty well.
Yeah, he's able to eye poke his way to victory.
But yeah, that too.
And yeah, the only other thing they did is they took some fan questions and talked about some of the upcoming shows they're excited to attend over in their area. But fun episode. I liked it. I think I like both those shows, Loaded Joe's and Talking Brawls. I will definitely both subscribe to going forward in catch here or there, especially Loaded Joe's. I really like that dude. He's weird, but I like him. Like, his drawl alone, and, like, he just does it by himself. Just hangs out talking.
That's cool.
Takes questions. Really mellow. Texas as fuck. I liked it, so I highly recommend him. So we will go ahead and actually, is there any other podcasts you wanted to shout out?
I would just shout out the BBC MMA Show.
I actually didn't hear that one this
OJ,
week.
OJ, Dan, and Pete. I can't remember the
Something
guy's
like
name.
that.
Something, but yeah, they just did their 28 prediction awards thing, so they think it's gonna be champ in each division, and I thought it was interesting. Basically, the guy Pete, who always doesn't like talking about DJ, really hopes TJ comes down and gets that belt from DJ. He's like, I'm just tired of seeing Mighty Mouse not fight anyone, man. Like, come on, like, fight someone good. But he knows DJ's just that good.
Oh, for sure.
And we all want to see that fight. So I don't think there's anyone who doesn't want to see TJ fight.
I think everybody
Mighty
wants
Mouse,
that, including TJ and DJ at this point, as long as they'll fucking pay DJ.
Yeah, I know Mighty Mouse just had shoulder surgery, so
yeah.
we'll see what the fuck that does. That probably just gives TJ more time to
cut his weight down.
Adjust to his new diet. So we'll see, but that's all I got. So
cool. Yeah, the only ones, I mean, I'll rattle a couple off quickly. MMA Junkie 2596 was one with Jorge Masvidal. That was pretty fucking great. That's where he talks about aliens, and yeah, he gives props to DJ for always having exciting fights, even at the highest level, shit like that. It's a Jorge Masvidal, Ask Jorge Masvidal interview. Eugene S. Robinson did the first episode of his show Stomper on Patreon. Patreon.com/Stomper. And this was edition 0.0 is what he called it. Just basically, it's his old show Knuckle Up, but he's changed it. New intro, and a little bit less about MMA. He'll talk more like just overall what he wants to talk about. At one point, he makes a Kraftwerk reference to their song "The Model." Just some Eugene S. Robinson ass shit. And also 2018 is the year of Eugene S. positivity. He's all happy this year and trying to be positive. TJ DeSantis did a bunch of good Invicta 27 coverage podcasts on Between Rounds that I recommend people check out if you're interested in that at all. Aussie and Fancy Breakdown was fantastic this week for the St. Louis card. Highly recommend that. MMA Vivisections were great for UFC St. Louis and Invicta 27. I like both of those a lot. And their Invicta breakdowns are fantastic. No one else does Invicta breakdowns. Like, we don't really do Invicta breakdowns because you don't watch enough Invicta, and I don't do enough tape study on all these people with like 2 fights that I have to dig around on YouTube for. But I love Invicta, and I love that they do breakdowns. They do a ton of tape study, and it's Zane Simon and I was forgetting the other 2 dudes who do the Invicta cards with them. But they're great, so check that out. Behind the paywall stuff from TJ was good. UFC Unfiltered 159 with Cowboy was pretty alright. Fights Gone By 64 was pretty good. Heavy Hands put out their Underdogs episode 2, which the Underdogs is like their essentially journeyman like show. They did that one all about John McDessie, which is pretty rad.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's about it. But a lot of good shows. I mean, I listened to a ton of stuff. There's a lot of good shows that came out. Stud Boy Radio wasn't terrible. Fucking Buckholz being Buckholz. But yeah, that's the only ones I wanted to cover. Some podcast news, though. TJ DeSantis is going to be on MMA Junkie Radio on the 19th of January. Joe Rogan is going to have John Danaher on the Joe Rogan Experience this Monday. Yep. And next Monday he's going to have Ben Askren on.
I saw that, yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Dope. I'm hyped about that. Jack Slack did his Slacky Awards for Vice. Those are real good. We mentioned earlier there's probably going to be a fight companion for the card on Saturday. MMA Podcast.com now added a media player, which is fucking awesome. So rather than having to open it up in whatever media player the person hosts, you can just hit the play button on every episode on the page, and it opens right there on the page.
Oh wow!
So like they basically have their own embedded media player. It's great. Fucking works fantastic. So I highly recommend using MMApodcast.com, who retweeted us lately, which is cool. I fucking love those.
Yeah, I love that site.
It's run by Reddit. It's just the Reddit, the MMA podcast guys.
One of the mod guys.
Yeah. Who's a super cool dude. Actually, I think he follows.
I finally was able to change my flare. I remember it's never happened before. Like, say, hey mod, give me this flare. I replied, someone did some of my new flares. Do bullshit, guys. And Habib said that on the fucking Tony and comments.
Real solid.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think the only other one I want to shout out was James Lynch did an episode of the MMA Industry Podcast with John Pollock. And they actually, I guess, talk. I haven't got a chance to listen to it yet because it wasn't up in time for me to cover it. But evidently, they talk about like tips for getting into the industry and shit like that. So, like more on the like media side of MMA, like ways to get into the industry and how they did it and like their route they took. So, pretty cool, man. Generally, just a great week for podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
And, Co-Main has a Patreon. I almost forgot. Co-Main Event has a Patreon.
Okay.
So I'm on their Patreon for $1 right now. So I'm big bowling like that. But we'll go ahead and wrap this segment here. And we will play the clip of Mark Hunt talking about being in an elevator with Kevin Randleman and Mark Coleman, which is fucking hilarious. But when we come back, we will break down the UFC St. Louis card since we don't have any recaps. And maybe I'll shout out a couple of the Invicta fights. But we will be back with that in a second. So take it away, Mr. Hunto.
I hear that all the time. And the honest truth is, I don't know. I was pretty green. I was green.
Old school
I was green when I started, man. I was.
What's his name? The one you knocked out?
Bro, let me tell you a story. One story. It was I was in the elevator, right? Me, Coleman, and Randleman. And fuck, Randleman was passed on. Bless your heart, brother. But man, that guy was he was jacked up. He was in the elevator and he was jumping. He jumps high, right? He was jumping in the elevator like this. I was like this. Bro, I want to make it up to earn some money, bro. This elevator is going to fall. You keep jumping there. He's like, fuck, get him, Mark. I was like, bro, crazy. He's cray, man. I was like, bro, just chill, man. Save that energy for Mirko. You're about to go to fight Mirko. Go and fucking bang that guy, man.
Alright, we are back after an extended hiatus where we figured out, first off, shouts out to Genki Sudo, who obviously was the motherfucker that we were thinking of. Genki Sudo, I always think of as the dude with the We're All One poster with all the flags on it in Pride. Don't always remember how fucking awkward Genki Sudo is in the ring, where he's like fucking tango dancing against goddamn Bang Ludwig.
I wouldn't know what to do with that besides maybe try to take the guy down or some shit.
Genki Sudo is I forgot that was in the UFC too, like 40 something. Man, that was a thing. But we are not here to recap Genki Sudo. We are here to recap Mirko Krokop versus Kevin Randleman 1. I'm just kidding. But that was our intro. It was Mark Hunt talking about being in an elevator with a super juiced up Kevin Randleman and Mark Coleman, which we just actually watched right after. They said at the end of that clip, Mark said you should probably be focusing on Mirko. And Chris just saw the Mirko versus Kevin fight.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Good God, he killed Mirko in that fight. That is one of those fights where you're like, that is one of the reasons why Kevin Randleman was one of the baddest motherfuckers around back then. Like that and dumping Fedor on his goddamn dome piece in the height of Fedor's prime. Like, despite getting subbed, like, right after. Like, you watch that fucking suplex on Fedor's dome and you're like, oh, he died. It's like some Gore Buffando looking shit.
Oh, yeah, we slammed it in the
I wanted to nominate that for for Knockout of the Year in so many different places, but I'm like, dude, I can't give Knockout of the Year to a fucking throw. Especially over that dude in Bellator, Kwanho Kwok or whatever, who fucking kneed a dude's face, like, so fucking hard that he still had forward momentum and he had to push the dude off.
Oh, yeah.
We watched that knockout. It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, this is not a recap of any of that. I lied. We are going to recap. Jesus Christ. I forgot. We're not in regular format this week. We're going to break down the UFC St. Louis card, which I'm pretty hyped for.
Hell yeah, man. There's some good fights on here.
Yeah, Fight Night 124 is the technical name. We should mention briefly that the Invicta 27 card is on Saturday, and the UFC card is on Sunday.
That's right.
Invicta 24 is fucking good, dude. I mean, there's
27?
a couple... Sorry, 27. I don't know why I kept saying 24.
Because of 124.
Yes, thank you. So, Invicta 27 is real solid. Tiffany Masters did blow weight against Mallory Martin. Also, Panicky and Zad blew weight against Sarah Kaufman, which is pretty fucked up. But there is a couple fun fights on this I would keep an eye on. Alba versus Cummins is going to be fun. Sharon Jacobson is always in scrappy fights.
Oh, Sarah Kaufman, okay.
Yeah. Vanessa Porto is taking on...
Yeah, I recognize her.
Marise or Marise. I haven't listened to the Invicta coverage yet.
Marias, I would say. I have no idea.
Sure. I mean...
Maurice. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think Marias. I don't know.
Sure. We'll go with that.
Who knows?
But I
Just
have...
call her Mariana.
Yeah, I have seen some clips of her, and she is... that's going to be a fun fight. And then Panicky and Zad versus Sarah Kaufman. That's a return to Sarah Kaufman after... I think her last fight was in the UFC. I don't think we've seen her since. If I remember right. Yeah. Nope. She did fight Jessica Rose Clark, Jessie Jess, on Battlefield The Great Beginning. Which, what the fuck? I need to go watch that card. Because that sounds awesome.
Battlefield?
Also, like, Sarah Kaufman and... not Panicky and Zad. Sarah Kaufman and Jessie Jess sounds like a fun fight. Damn, George Patino is on this card. And that's the only name I'm recognizing right off top. A lot of Asian dudes on this card. A lot of Korean sounding names. Oh, it happened in South Korea. That makes sense.
Oh, there you go.
I might have to go look up BFC Battlefield The Great Beginning. Because that sounds like a thing. Anyway, fun Invicta card. Bummer, Panicky and Zad blew weight. But, shouts out to this St. Archer Blackberry Goes. But I'm highly looking forward to that bout. Also on Saturday, I do want to shout out, there's I believe it's BKB 9. There's a bare knuckle boxing card that has Melvin Gillard, Chris Lytle, and somebody else on it. And it looks okay, but the real reason it looks okay, it's like $445 for the pay-per-view. It's like it's like $450. Maybe it's $449. It's under $5 for the pay-per-view. Which is like, dude, 11 a.m. on a Saturday to watch some bare knuckle boxing.
Sounds interesting.
$450 sounds like the right price for
is
that.
Is Melvin Gillard trying to kill his brain at this point?
I don't like talking about it because I love Melvin Gillard, especially him being a Louisiana native, which y'all know him, or you should. I know I'm a huge fan of Louisiana, specifically New Orleans. Where Melvin has resided for a long time, off and on. Yeah, man.
Shouts out to other Louisiana fighters such as Daniel Cormier and Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, they're the two, right?
Yeah, in the UFC.
There's one more too that's from.
I think there's another guy.
I forget who we're forgetting.
I'm thinking of it.
There's another super violent fighter out of Louisiana that is a goddamn monster that they were giving props to recently.
I think it's someone called like the Raging Cajun. I don't know, or something like
that. Is Cajun Johnson from Louisiana? I think he might be.
I think he is, yeah.
You might be right. But yeah, that bare knuckle boxing card looks pretty cool. I'm in bare knuckle boxing, like, gets a bad rap. It's probably overall less violent than MMA because you don't tape your fucking wrists. Like, so since you don't tape your hands, you're hitting way less hard.
Yeah,
because you're just gonna break your shit.
Yeah.
So like, there's a lot more technical striking and a lot less like bludgeoning that you see. Like, you're not gonna be fucking hitting dudes in the like swinging for like giant overhands that are gonna catch the back of the head or like an eye, like a forehead or anything. So you'll break your hand with the quickness. So I don't know. I find it interesting. I dig it. Although I'm also the asshole that's on board with Rogan's no gloves and soccer stadium fucking events he keeps trying to push. Which I love the idea of. But anyway, we are not a show discussing Joe Rogan's fucking whatever weird promotion he's trying to pitch until that happens. In the meantime, though, we will give our breakdown for this UFC 124, Fight Night 124.
Do you want to start from the top or the bottom of the card? Definitely
the bottom. Starting it off, we got Kyung Ho Kong versus Guido Canetti. Oh. And Kyung Ho Kong, Mr. Perfect, which, by the way, South Korea has the best names for fighters. Can we just make this official?
His record isn't perfect, but he at least must be perfect at something.
The Korean Zombie, Mr. Perfect, and Korean Superboy are my three go-to
Stun
first ones.
Pretty solid.
Stun Gun,
Maestro, right?
Maestro. What's Chammy John's fucking nickname? I bet it's great. Here, I'll look that up.
Isn't Kwang Ho Kwak Korean too? Or is that Chinese? I
believe he is. A Togi Girl, which I bet translates to something dope. And Kwang Ho Kwak.
I have no idea. That sounds Korean.
I believe.
Right?
Yeah, I don't
know.
Here,
I'm probably way off. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's one of those judgment calls I would have just made in my head and not out loud. But turns out
Korean,
he is Korean. No nickname though.
Okay.
God, somebody needs
to
give him
his name is already cool enough as it is. So.
Yeah. Somebody should give him a sweet, knee boy. I just combined all the fucking Mr. Knee Boy.
Yeah. Something.
Sounds like a Bond villain, Mr. Knee Boy.
No, Dr. Knee Boy.
Dr. Knee Boy does sound like a Bond villain. You kind of nailed that. Anyway, Kwang Ho Kong is taking on.
Kong.
I believe it's pronounced Kong.
Or is it, see, I thought you were saying Kwang Ho Kwak. I'm already getting confused.
No, Kwang Ho Kwak was the guy who killed a man with his knee in Bellator.
That's right.
Hence the Mr. Knee Man or whatever.
Yeah, Dr. Knee Boy.
Dr. Knee Boy. Yeah, Mr. Knee Man. That's his alter ego, and he's also in the fucking cartoon Doug. I don't know if I told you. All right, so Kyung Ho Kong is taking on Guido Canetti. Guido Canetti coming off the big USADA suspension.
That's right.
Let me pull up my notes. I
just remember Guido Canetti was trying to start shit.
I don't think it ever
Latin America.
Yeah, I don't think it ever got released. What he got flagged for, which is always weird. Like when you get flagged and served.
I think it was tainted something, right?
No, because he started to fall like 18 months or something like that, but it never got released what the actual substance was. But he is taking on Kwang Ho Kong. Kwang Ho Kong is coming off the wins over Sunichi Shimizu and Michinori Tanaka, both of which were super fun, although the Tanaka one was kind of wild. And Guido Canetti, the Ninja, is coming off the win over Hugo Viana, back when Hugo Viana was in the UFC in 2015. Jesus Christ. Wow. And Enrique,
that's a long layoff.
And then before that had a loss to Enrique Briones. I don't know why because we got a buddy named Barone. That's why I butchered that backwards. Enrique Barones. That's why it's called Nick and Gilbert. The Barones.
My Barones.
That's a joke that no one listening will get. We got a buddy named Nick Barone, and he's got a brother named Gilbert. All right. Which way are you leaning on this one? Do you have any...
I think I'm going to go with the active fighter, Kwang Ho Kong, instead of Guido Canetti, who's been gone for almost 2.5 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Especially when you have to change the way.
Suspension.
Yeah, you have to change your diet, everything about you, your preparation.
It's definitely nerve-wracking. And after rewatching those fights, from what I remember...
I just remember from Tough, Guido Canetti was not a world beater by any means. Wasn't bad, but he didn't really impress.
For sure.
If I recall.
Yeah, and I remember Kong has almost like a Darren Elkins style of improving as rounds go on, where as you fade, he'll get stronger and stronger throughout the fight. And he's willing to get into crazy wild scrambles, as shown in the fight that he had against Tanaka. Like, that fight was fucking wild and back and forth and all over the place. And he was... Same with Shimizu. And I'm probably butchering that dude's name. I'm... Let's go with Shunichi, because I know
Shimizu?
I think it's Shunichi.
Shunichi, Shimizu.
Yeah, Shunichi.
Yeah, Shunichi.
We're probably still butchering that.
Yeah,
I'm bad at pronouncing South Korean names. Love me some fucking South Korea, though. Everybody go watch the Three Sheets
Shimizu,
episode.
that's a Japanese name, but yeah.
Chris, why do you gotta do this to me? Why do you gotta... we could have just let that roll.
Yeah.
Now we gotta have a moment about how I'm clearly a giant racist and I think all Asians are from the same country. So let's see. The Korean Zombie is fighting some guy. It's a joke, y'all. It's not.
Actually, it's Stun Gun.
That's right. Yeah, Stun Gun is fighting some Guido.
Hey, he is Italian, so he is a Guido.
Oh yeah, Guido Canetti. Man, dude gasses hard. As far as I saw in the tape study I did, dude gasses hard after the first round.
He just throws hammers in the beginning, and then that's about it.
He throws bombs for like a minute or for like a round.
I think he's a kickboxer, if I remember.
And then after that, it's kind of downhill from what I saw.
I just remember when he was on Tough, since he's from Argentina, all he kept saying is like "fuck Mexico" and just pissing off Team Mexico the whole time. And they're like, "Okay, dude, you're a dick."
Yeah, for real.
And he ended up getting his ass kicked, I think.
It checks out. So you're going Kong rather?
Yeah, Kong.
Yeah, I am as well. I definitely see him taking it. I would say probably by TKO. No, probably submission. Third maybe, second or third. It depends on how long it takes Guido to 100% gas out, which I believe he will. But I think it'll be a fun fight while it lasts. Because they're both scrappy as shit, and they'll both just step in the pocket and kind of let shit fly. Speaking of letting shit fly, Mads Burnell is taking on Mike Santiago. You know either of these dudes at all?
I've heard of Mads Burnell.
Yeah, he's coming off the loss to Michel Praceres, and then the win in Soma.
Oh, he got 69 choked.
Yeah, north-south.
Yep.
And then he's fighting Mike Santiago,
Ooh, no shame in losing to the Beast.
Yep, lost to Zabit, and then has the win over Mark Chirico in the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series.
It's definitely an interesting fight. Haven't seen enough of these guys' fights collectively to kind of really, I guess, ascertain a real prediction.
Yeah, for me, like from the little bit of tape study I did, it looks like Santiago is pretty scrappy. He's a bit of like a solid pressure boxer with a pretty decent clinch game. Yeah, like he survived against Zabit for a fucking long time. Like almost 2 full rounds against Zabit is a long time in Zabit's debut, where he's hitting the fucking spinning back Showtime kick on you and shit, like just hitting crazy flying knees and shit. Like he lost a ton of scrambles a bit against Zabit, but still fairly defensively sound. It seems like he didn't get caught by the first sub thrown at him, and he didn't just get out scrambled in every situation, but he definitely got out scrambled. And then for Mads Burnell, dude's super green, but he has solid hands. From the tape I watched, he boxed Fernando the fuck up, and he starts off the Praceres fight strong, but he seemed to slow down a bit. And yeah, he's good at stuffing takedowns against the center, but not as much against the cage. So I think could be a problem in this fight. But I'm probably gonna lean Santiago just off of scrambling ability, and I think he'll I think if you get Mads Burnell down, you're probably gonna beat Mads Burnell. He gave up top control for most of round 2, and just sat on bottom in the Praceres
Yeah,
fight.
I mean, I would like to make a confident pick, but I'll probably just go with Santiago, considering he didn't lose to Zabit in the first round. He survived the round.
Yep, I will. I could see that as well. I'm actually gonna go Santiago too, but mainly because I don't have any faith in Mads Burnell. I just don't. I don't know what to do with that dude. Based off the footage I watched, like, he's super green. He reminds me of like an Emil Mech type, like super fucking green for the like well-rounded fighters he's stepping up against. He does do one thing real well, and that can take you a couple fights into a division. But the question is whether or not it's going to take him past Mike Santiago.
Be interesting to see.
Yeah, it should be fun either way. Up next is one of the fights I'm most excited for on this card. I'm fucking hyped for Danielle Taylor versus JJ Aldrich.
That's a good prospect fight right here.
I am a big fan of both of these girls. Danielle Taylor is 5 foot, according to Sherdog and Wikipedia and stuff. According to everyone who's ever seen Danielle Taylor, she's like 4'11", 4'10". Like, Laura Senko called her out on it. I've heard other people call her out on it.
Maybe she has Sherdog to give her an insurance inch.
She's real small. She's coming off the wins over Jessica Penne and Sohee Ham, and the split decision loss to Marion Renault, where I think she fucking won that fight.
Wait, Marina Moroz?
Sorry,
you keep saying Marion Renault many times.
They have the same nickname, right?
Yeah. No, this lady's the Iron Lady. We've done this before. And so is fucking GDR.
Oh, right. Okay, we're both right. I confused the three of them. I confused Marion Renault, I confused Marina Moroz and GDR for the nicknames. I confused Marina Moroz and Marion Renault because they sound similar.
Yeah.
Marina Moroz is a super solid, sharp, like Muay Thai fighter. Essentially, I mean, she's got like a weak JJ game kind of thing.
Yeah,
like, super straight, long punches, and holy shit, did Danielle Taylor clip her the fuck up with lunging overhands? Like, she's got a Tyron Woodley-esque game that is fucking girls up bad.
I feel like people are really short,
pretty bad.
Really good grapplers are just throw heavy-handed.
Well, they have to cover so much distance.
Yeah.
So, and she's so good at countering.
Has decent jabs and stuff in boxing, if I recall correctly.
So, JJ Aldrich is coming off the wins over Chami John and the loss to Juliana Lima, both by decision. JJ is like a pretty consistently
like a volume striker.
Yeah, forward pressure fighter. Like, gonna throw a lot of volume at you, not almost Holly Holm-esque in the distance management, where she's not afraid to throw 3 punches outside of range and just kind of make you back up because of it. Which could be interesting in this matchup just because of Danielle Taylor's ability to close distance and throw motherfucking heaters. But I like this matchup a lot. It's a super fun style matchup, and I think it's going to be a scrap for sure. I think everybody's going to get hit with a ton of shit in this. As long as both women pull the trigger. So, who are you leaning for on this one?
I like Danielle Taylor in a close one. I think this is going to go to a decision. I like JJ Aldrich's volume pressure style. I like Danielle Taylor, how she loads up though as well. And I think both of them are going to be kind of keeping their distance, kind of gauging each other's movements. And it's not going to be overly exciting, unfortunately, but it's going to have some moments, I think.
True. Well, yeah. So
I think it's going to be a lot of a lot less risk-taking, kind of more just strategy, I guess, is what I would call it.
I could see that. Yeah. I agree mostly. However, so I started out on the side of thinking JJ Aldrich takes this pretty handily just off size and volume of strikes she's going to put out.
Yeah.
After rewatching some Danielle Taylor fights, girl throws motherfucking heaters and hits everyone with it. And I believe it was Conor Rebush on, I want to say either Heavy Hands or the Vivisection. Maybe it was Vivisection. He points out that, like, Aldrich is, or maybe it was Zane even on the Vivisection, that one of them pointed out that Aldrich is willing to do that Holly Holm move and, or the Paige Van Zandt move where you're throwing, like, a 3-punch combo and you're not even in range. So you're just sitting outside of range, trying to figure out what range you're in, throwing like a long combo. And that's the type of shit Daniel Taylor has dreams about. Like, that is the perfect, as a huge power counterpuncher, that is exactly what should help Danielle Taylor. So I'm going to take her in this, but what would not surprise me, though, is if Danielle Taylor can't manage the, like if JJ Taylor presses forward...
JJ Taylor?
God damn it, JJ Aldrich. Who is JJ Taylor? Maybe JT Money? Is he the one? Jesse Taylor the one that's fucking me up? I think he is.
Probably.
But if JJ Aldrich pressures forward and is able to actually get in Danielle Taylor's face while constantly slipping those giant overhands and just keep constant pressure on, I think she'll take it. If JJ Aldrich implements a wrestling game or even a clinch game, I think it could go her way. Because while Danielle Taylor is really good at countering takedowns and at not getting shoved up against the cage, especially with a low center of gravity, it makes it a lot easier as well. But JJ Aldrich is way bigger. Like, way... Here, let's just look at some stat differences. JJ Aldrich is 5 inches on paper bigger, which is probably more like 6 or 7. So I'm gonna go Danielle.
You said Danielle Taylor's a good 4'10", 4'11".
She's not 5 foot, according to like Laura Sanko and a bunch of other people. So I'm gonna go.
Maybe she's 5 foot wearing heels.
Yeah, maybe. I'm fucking 9 feet wearing heels, bro. You just need to see the heels I get. Fucking. Also, I don't wear heels. So
Was that a Freudian slip?
Oh yeah. Well, to be fair, no one wants to see a fat dude wear heels. That's never been anyone's thing. Or if it is your thing, I'm not.
This is called Welcome to the Internet.
I'm not your Huckleberry. Is what I'm saying.
There you go.
But we will go ahead and keep moving on after that uncomfortable exchange. Speaking of uncomfortable exchanges, Toledo Bernardo is taking on Irene Aldana.
What was her name again?
Toledo Bernardo.
Toledo? What is going on?
Toledo Bernardo.
Taida.
You're right. I'll let you take over. Go ahead.
We got Taida Bernardo versus...
Taida? What the fuck is Taida?
Is it Taida?
Toledo.
Oh, it is Toledo.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the goof.
I said Toledo, though. Like, she's a goddamn city in
I couldn't read it on the fucking
whatever.
Google thing.
Toledo.
Yeah, it's Toledo.
Is Toledo in Ohio?
Toledo is in Ohio,
Okay.
yeah. It's also a school, University of Toledo. Toledo Bernardo versus Irene Aldana.
Irene.
Sure.
It is.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just like, all right, cool. That's how you say it. Sure.
I know. I'm just Laura Sankoing you. You're the Megan Anderson of this podcast, where you fuck up the pronunciation and I repeat what Anik told me.
Toledo Bernardo versus Irene Aldana.
Hello. Shouts out to Connor Bush. That's my favorite Aussie accent ever. Is his terrible Aussie accent. Anyway.
Man, I remember
Hello.
Jesus.
So bad. Anyway, Toledo Bernardo is taking on Irene Aldana.
Looks like Toledo has fought Marina Moroz. Just kidding. Marion Renault. Her last fight, she lost to. TKO punches back in September.
In some local fights like LFN, AFC, RF, Rambo fight. There's a good name for
this is great names. Battlefield and Maximus fight.
Maximus fight's pretty good. I bet PRVT stands for something good. And Nitoroy Top Fight is a heck of a thing. She is taking on Irene Aldana, who I bet also has some great fucking names on her list.
Oh, I remember I saw this chick fighting.
Old Jack's Fight Night, dog. That's what that says.
I like the abbreviation Gex.
Gex.
Like the fucking video game.
Yeah, no, like the goddamn Gecko video game. Exactly. She's a big Sega Genesis fan, and she is taking on Toledo. Irene is coming off the losses to Caitlin Chukagan and Leslie Smith. However, she does have some huge wins in Invicta over Faith Van Duyn and Jessamine Duke, and the loss to Tanya Evinger in the fourth. I've heard people mention this on podcasts this week, and I totally agree. If you have not seen Irene Aldana fight outside of the UFC, you haven't really seen her fight. She's been real cautious in her last 2 fights. Especially the Leslie Smith one, more than anything. It's weird. It seems like she's a little worried about...
the Chukagian fight was pretty close. But
yeah, Chukagian.
Yeah.
I believe it's Chukagian.
I have no idea. I'm just saying how I would believe it's pronounced.
You corrected me 5 seconds ago on her name. I'm... No. Oh god, I'm dying. Okay, so man, this is a weird fight because 2 people are pretty new in the division. 2 people who have we haven't seen much really of Toledo Bernardo in against real competition. However,
which is probably why I'm gonna go with Irene Aldana.
Yeah, the only thing that makes me nervous about Irene is the examples
cautious, like you're saying. Right?
Well, yeah, the examples we have seen from her are her not pulling the trigger and just kind of standing in front of people.
Yeah.
Which, if you're gonna do that against Toledo, Toledo has a lot of highlights of her bum rushing people and throwing bombs. Yeah, it's a really fun but weird style matchup. Especially based off their UFC performances. You said you're leaning on Irene?
Yeah.
You gonna take her?
Yeah, why not?
I'm gonna go Toledo. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go Irene Aldana. Irene Aldana, if she looks like she does in Invicta, if she's able to pull the trigger and not constantly be scared that if she commits to a punch, she's gonna get taken down, I think she steamrolls Toledo. However, if she does that weird circling, backing up against the cage, throwing fucking 15 strikes around bullshit that we've seen her do against Leslie Smith specifically was the worst example of it. I think that'll be a problem in the style matchup in a big way. I'm gonna lean Irene Aldana, but with zero confidence. All of the confidence I have in this fight is from her Invicta fights, which is a weird thing to do. So I'm gonna lean that way, but I would not be surprised in the least if Toledo Bernardo was able to just come out and look super impressive.
Next up, we got Kalindra Faria versus Jessica I. I know Jessica I was originally supposed to fight Paige Van Zant, I believe.
Who's also on this card.
Yes,
so I don't understand how you don't take a fight because of injury, and then you also still fight on that card.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, you mean you don't want to fight Jessica I, Paige Van Zant? That's basically it.
Yeah.
Kalindra Faria, of course, is coming off the loss to Mara Romero Barella,
which is a very impressive victory by
Dude,
Barella.
she is such a motherfucker.
I think she's at ATT.
I picked that fight so goddamn wrong. I picked that fight so
I literally
goddamn
picked her
wrong.
because she's Italian. I had no idea who the fuck to pick.
I picked her so wrong, and she's ATT is the difference in that fight for sure. Because she looked great. She has wins over big names, or at least decent names. And then she has a lot of losses by decision to huge names.
Yep, Carolina, Jessica Aguilar.
Yeah, and there's she has 2 wins over Karina Dom. She has losses to Vanessa Porto, draw with Jennifer Maya, lost to Claudia Gadelia, lost to Karina Dam originally. She has a ton of fucking experience and really well-rounded. And it was surprising to me that she got ran over by. But that's kind of why I'm so high on Mara Barella, because goddamn does she have solid takedown and top control.
Yep.
She's facing Jessica I, who I couldn't tell you what her style is, man.
Well, she kind of got thrown in the ringer for a second.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's had tough fucking fights, to be fair to her. Since 2014, she had a loss to Alexis Davis. Actually, let's go back to 2013. She had a draw or no decision with Sarah Kaufman, which I believe was because of weed, because it was in fucking Las Vegas, if I remember. I mean, not Las Vegas, Texas, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Texas is a giant bag of cunts when it comes to weed. I believe I got that right. And then she has the split decision loss to Alexis Davis, the win over Leslie Smith.
Probably where Leslie's ear exploded.
Yep, which shouts out to our artwork. Thanks to Jessica I, we have artwork for this show. And thanks to Leslie Smith's ear, which I'm glad to see is still on her head, despite the pictures. And then she had a bunch of decision losses in a row, but to mostly very high-level competition.
Yeah, Misha Tate.
Yeah, Misha Tate, Juliana Pena, Sarah McMahon, and then the most recent one of Betch Correia is the only real questionable one on that list.
Yeah, and for that reason, since she's on a losing streak, I'm actually going to go with Faria in this fight. Because if you're losing to fucking Betch Correia, man, you either need to get your shit together or I hope you were asleep at the wheel during that fight. No disrespect, Jessica I, but holy fuck. I mean, as Jason Perillo once said, you can't be going to a decision or almost going to a decision against someone who could barely throw hands in Betch Correia, and that's just him being real.
I mean, that's hard to argue with. I am going to actually take Jessica I. No faith. Not even a little bit of faith that she.
You could have faith that she's trained at she's in Stipe's camp.
That doesn't. She was in C-Base camp for the last 4 fights.
I know. I'm just saying that.
What is the problem?
I'm trying to help you out your decision.
Also, Stipe's camp does not give me a bunch of confidence either.
I know, it's a specialty camp.
From everything I've heard about that camp, it gives me very little confidence.
Basically, his success is all on his own ability, right? Well,
right.
I'm sure
and the amount of money he's putting into his own camp is how successful his camp is. Which, for Jessica I feel like is not a great setup.
This next fight...
Well, so, real quickly, though, I do think Jessica I is going to... If Jessica I should... Here's things Jessica I should be able to do. Jessica I should be the bigger fighter. Jessica I should be able to get takedowns. Jessica I should be defensively sound on the feet. Jessica I should be able to pass and get to mount and pound her out or get a choke. Things she should be able to do based on this matchup from what I've seen from both people. However, I have very little confidence that she's even going to shoot one shot in this fight. I think if she goes for a takedown based off of the fucking Mara Romero-Barella fight, I feel like if she goes for 2 takedowns, she'll win this fight. But if she doesn't, she decides to stand on the feet and be real hesitant.
It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
See what kind of game plan she comes out with.
I don't have a lot of confidence if she does go that way.
This next fight, unfortunately, is not happening anymore because Zach Cummings, according to a tweet,
I'm so fucking
slipped
sad.
in his bathtub and smashed his head against the fucking handrail in his shower.
I was so hyped for this fight. And
he's not
Zach
dead.
Cummings.
He clearly tweeted it out, but he fucked himself up.
I'm a big Zach Cummings fan, and I thought he was handily going to take Thiago Alves in this. He was almost my fantasy pick in the other league.
Yeah, if I would have chose, I probably would have chose Zach Cummings by Russell Fuck.
Yeah, I think TKO third round.
Oh, he just got some pop in his hand too.
No, ground and pound TKO third round.
Oh yeah.
I think Thiago gasses. Zach gets him down out of a bunch of crazy scrambles and eventually gets a finish, but. Fortunately, it's not happening. Hopefully, they run it back. Both dudes deserve it. Thiago Alves has had a fucking rough run lately because
it's the hurricane that affected his family and being able the ability to travel. He's got this bad luck.
Yeah, so that's a bummer. But we will keep on moving on. This is Fight of the Night. I don't care who you are. This is the best fight of the night.
Matt Frivola versus Marco Polo Reyes.
I feel like this and Darren Elkins and Michael Johnson are racing for Fight of the Night contender.
Yeah, I'd say my most hyped fight is probably Elkins.
Not most hyped. I'm saying the one that I think will be the most scrappy, back and forth, crazy bullshit. I think it'll probably be that. Matt Frivola, of course, coming off of the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series.
Oh, he's that jiu-jitsu guy, huh?
No, he was the dude who was bombing on that dude. He's the redheaded guy who was bombing on that dude for fucking 2 rounds until he ended up getting that arm triangle. He was just throwing fucking heaters against Jose Flores. And they were both throwing bombs, but Matt Frivola, was just fucking winging shit at this dude and plastering him with it. He's taking on Marco Polo Reyes, who we actually just rewatched his fucking amazing fight with Dong Young Kim.
Yeah, Maestro.
Just goddamn incredible.
That's crazy.
It's so crazy to watch. Neither of they would just throw 6-punch combinations and neither of them would block. So you're just like, oh my god,
they block with their face.
Yeah, they're both just gonna throw 6 punches and just hope they land before they get hit. It was just that over and over again for 3 rounds with like a takedown or 2 around. And fucking wild. Of course, Marco Polo Reyes coming off the loss to James Vick, which fucking no shame. James Vick is a monster and way bigger than Marco Polo Reyes.
That dude just shouldn't even be.
And that's a bad style matchup too, because of the straight punches of James Vick. Here's my prediction for this fight: both dudes gonna walk forward. Both dudes gonna throw bombs. Depends on who dies first, really.
Yeah, I don't really have bone to pick in this one, so I'm probably gonna just go with Polo Reyes, considering that dude's chin was pretty fucking great against Maestro, and I haven't seen enough of Matt.
Was real good against Maestro.
Yeah, and I haven't seen enough of Matt Frivola to confidently pick him.
So I'm probably going to take Matt Frivola in this, and the main reason is because I'm worried about Marco Polo Reyes after that fucking fight.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, he's been in nothing but wars, and...
It's going to catch up to his chin's going to catch up.
Well, it already did in the last fight against James Vick. And I feel like James Vick...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he got booped, man. That shit was bad.
Yeah, he got bombed on. And so I'm gonna lean that way. I'm not super confident, just because, again, a Dana White Contender Series dude stepping up against someone who's had 2 fucking wars in the UFC. It's a big step up in competition for Frivola. Where does Frivola train out of?
Tampa?
Gracie, Tampa South. That doesn't give me any confidence. Is Marco Polo still at Alliance, do we know?
I mean, I haven't...
I don't think so. I think he's an interim.
Isn't that the one in Chicago where Yair Rodriguez is?
I think so.
Let's go to Y. It looks like it's alphabetical by first name. Right? If you look for Y.
Yeah, it's going to be way down. No, I guess not.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go Frivola because he's got a good nickname, and I like the nickname The Steamroller.
That's a good name.
I don't know. I guess I would go Frivola TKO round 2 after they both bludgeon the shit out of each other. All right, we'll keep on moving. James Krause, hopefully... Oh, I like that his nickname is James Krause.
Clearly, it's because they thought it wouldn't look that impressive just putting the after fucking before his name as a preface, but whatever. They done goofed. Yeah, the James Krause is
right,
fighting.
coming off the win over Tom Galicchio, who is basically...
What did they say in, was it Vivisection?
Vivisection.
It looks like he's sparring him.
Well, he was. They're training partners. Yeah. Like, I believe they said he hit Tom with one head kick and felt real bad and then sparred him the rest of the time, which, yeah, 100%. It's also why I picked fucking James Krause very strongly in that fight. Because Tom Galicchio was never going to win that fight. And then before that, he had wins over Shane Campbell and Darren Cruikshank, which in retrospect are pretty solid.
Wait, go back to this guy's picture. Dude, this guy looks like he could be related to Michael Phelps.
Yeah, something like that. That or
you know what I'm talking
Lance
about?
Armstrong, you know what I'm saying?
Like, you should Google Michael Phelps. It's like the same fucking...
I know exactly the picture you're talking about, yeah. Let's see. So he's coming off the win over Mitch Clark, the loss to Tony Martin, and the win over your boy Artem.
T-Rex?
That's right. Also his wins over Clay Collard.
Lost?
Sorry, lost to Clay... Oh, Jesus, you're right. That is a loss to Clay Collard. And a loss to Lucas Martins. Which way you leaning in this one? To be fair, James Krause... This dude's been super active, and James Krause hasn't been as much. I mean, James Krause had 4 fights in 3 years. Yeah. He was. And then this dude's fought 3 times since 2016.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to really pick this fight. Huh.
What would help you pick it? Oh my god, I just realized...
What?
What is happening with that weight?
Well, this guy
Does Sherdog have this
used to
fucked
fight
up?
in featherweight, and now he's going up to lightweight.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that true?
I don't know.
Artem is not a fucking featherweight. Is he?
Oh, he is. He is. Yeah. Artem Lobot, because he fought Teruto Ishihara, and he fought Cub Swanson. Remember that? He's a featherweight.
What weight is Mitch Clark? Lightweight.
Oh, so he's just at lightweight now.
Right. James Krause is at lightweight. Right?
Yeah, but he's also fought at welterweight.
Yeah,
James Krause fights at both.
Oh, right.
Because that season of Tough was welterweight. That's his Tough was welterweight, yeah.
That's what's happening.
But Krause is going back down to lightweight.
So this is at 155, right?
Yeah, it's at 155. It's at 155.
Okay, that makes way more sense.
Yeah.
I got real confused.
I think I'm going to go with Krause, though. I don't know. I mean... I know I've seen Alex White fight before. I hate picking these kind of fights where I don't know the guy because I just feel like I'm disrespecting them without really seeing them. But
well, do some tape study, bitch.
I know, right? You had to be like Tony Gwynn to study tape all the time.
That's right. Get your Conor Rebush on. I am also going Krause. I have done some tape study, and I am leaning that way. Not really off of anything other than... So the thing I'm worried about is James Krause, again, I believe they talked about it in the Vivisection. James Krause tends to not go after motherfuckers. Like, he's happy to sit and spar.
Yeah.
Like, in most fights, like, unless you really bring the fucking heat to James Krause,
he's not going to respond.
Yeah, no, he's happy to holly home his way to a decision.
Yeah.
Like, every time. And I feel like that combined with the weight difference is gonna really give Alex White some trouble. The only thing, like, Alex White could clip James Krause. Size difference isn't that big, but I gotta lean James Krause mostly because I like James Krause.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of that gym. Megan Anderson, big fan. Fucking Joe Warren, big fan.
Yep, Tim Elliott, those guys.
All the Factory X and whatever gym James Krause is out of.
Because I know James Krause mostly fights out of Kansas City, but yeah I know
same
a
with
lot
Laura
of them are still at
and all that, yeah.
Extreme Couture. Shouts out to Kevin Lee.
Yeah, big shouts out. And Robert Follis, R.I.P.
Yep.
Alright, moving on. Speaking of people dying.
This is my most anticipated fight of the entire card.
It's a good fight, man.
Besides the main event, I guess I should say, really. But
this is probably tied with me for most interesting fight, style matchup wise.
You basically have a wrestler who can take damage in Darren Elkins.
Well said.
Because he is the damage.
That's right. It says it across his goddamn chest, Chris. You better
so we don't forget. So we don't forget.
That's right.
And then you got Michael Johnson, who I don't know, is this guy going to actually make weight? Holy fuck.
There's no way he makes weight, right? What we need to make a bet on him making weight. Right?
I pray that he makes weight, because if he does, I am picking him in this fight right now 100%, because he's going to have fucking goddamn crazy power at this weight class.
So do you think he makes weight?
Yeah, but it's gonna look bad.
Wow. Okay.
It's gonna look real bad. Like like that one guy from Japan where he was like, he like
okay.
You know what I mean? It'll look like that, and then they'll be like, "Oh, should we let him fight?" And then he'll be like, "I'm good." I'm like, "Okay."
So here's how I see this bet going. We need a 2-part bet. First off, does he make weight? Second off, does he look like death because of the weight cut in the fight?
I guarantee he's going to look like death regardless if he makes weight or not.
So I feel like the first part, since it's about whether or not he's a fat boy, we need to have a food bet.
Okay.
So what food... So loser gets food next week?
Yeah, like the loser just... Or no. The winner would have to choose what you eat, right? Or how?
Well, that's what I'm saying, is loser buys food next week.
Oh, okay, yeah. And the winner gets to choose.
Winner gets to choose. We'll do it that way?
Yeah.
That works. And for the podcast, so we'll talk about it, y'all. We'll post on Twitter and shit. But we figure out how that goes. And then so for the actual fight bet, I feel like this.
I already know what food I'm gonna get too if I win.
What's that?
Trying to tell you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna get you fucking fat cells. Because it's a weight cutting bet, so I gotta get the
fat
most
cells is good.
fatty fat sandwich.
Is that the fucking that's the sandwich?
Yeah, I gave you half that. Yeah.
You know what? I will do the other sandwich place right over by Diane that does fucking crazy sandwiches too.
Okay.
So I forget the name of the place. We'll shout it out if I. Well,
because I know I got you Sandwich Emporium that one time, the one that's right there.
Sandwich Emporium was solid.
Champs.
Yeah. A Sandwich Emporium that
that Thanksgiving
sandwich is the truth for sure. Okay, so then for the actual fight, how do we measure whether or not Michael Johnson looks like shit because of the weight cut? We should probably just do like a does Michael Johnson win lose bet. But like
we just probably have to look at a picture of him what he looks like when he cut to 155.
That's true. But like first off, who do you like in this fight?
Oh, I like Michael Johnson 100%. Do you? Yeah.
Perfect, because I like Darren Elkins.
Okay.
So here's our second bet. This one's obviously a booze bet.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So, we'll have to come up with what booze it's going to be. Should probably be bad. Right?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
I mean, it's what makes it more fun.
Yeah.
Right? So, we'll go...
God damn it, you're going to just fucking give me Four Loko if you win, you motherfucker.
No, Four Loko's too basic, bro. I want something weirder. I want to find something... maybe I'll go to like Korean market or something and find you something fucking weird. We'll go to like a Ranch 99.
You're like, bro, it's like some Korean liquor with like the blood of an ox.
Or I'll get you like some weird Ranch 99 40 that comes in like a plastic container or something weird.
You want me to not be able to drive home?
That's right. So that'll be look forward to that next week. I'm pretty hyped about it already because that sounds like fun. But Darren Elkins versus Michael Johnson. You said you're leaning Michael Johnson in this,
right?
Oh,
yeah, 100%.
Johnson's coming off the back-to-back losses against Gaethje and Habib, and then he had the win over Dustin Poirier, whereas Darren Elkins, of course, coming off the win... The win over
he had that
Dennis
insane
Bermudez,
comeback victory against Mirsad
and then,
Bektic.
that crazy head kick comeback against Mirsad Bektic, which was fucking wild. So you said you're leaning Michael Johnson in this, huh?
Mm-hmm.
The size, or...
But that and his takedown defense is very solid, underrated.
That's solid.
And his hand speed is, I think, going to be something that Elkins has never had to deal with before. He's going to be able to clip him early with volume.
Also a good point. Like, Elkins is not a quick, like... When you describe his game, speed is 0% how you would describe his game. It's like volume and pressure, right?
Yeah. I just love... John, if he makes weight... he's just got insane power at that weight class. Kind of probably like a McGregor when he was at 145 as far as that size.
Yeah, and Johnson has always been one of the smaller 55ers. Everyone's pretty much, like, in the media has pretty much said that from what I've heard. However, he's still real big for 45. Like, I don't have...
Well, look how he bloats up right there. I mean... But then again, he does have weight to cut. It's not like he's shredded when he goes to... So we'll see. It's weird. His frame's interesting.
I'll be interested to see how he looks in this fight. I'm going Elkins because... two reasons. If Elkins makes it out of the first round and a half, I think Elkins is almost guaranteed to win this fight. Michael Johnson also is known to get discouraged when he can't put somebody away quickly. And Elkins is that dude in every one of his fights where he is hard to put away. And the weight cut. I think that combo...
It's going to be draining, yeah.
I think that combo could be real trouble for Michael Johnson. I kind of see him gassing pretty much into the first round. Maybe halfway through the second. And then... Darren Elkins just putting volume on him and beating the shit out of him towards the end of it. I'd probably go Darren Elkins third round TKO. But I could see Darren Elkins winning by decision. Also, I would not be surprised if Darren Elkins gets blasted into oblivion in the first 2 minutes of this fight. I definitely think that's Michael Johnson's best way to win, is to just kill Darren Elkins in the head in the first 2 minutes. But we will see how that goes. I'm excited for it regardless. And then up next we got Usman versus
great fight.
Yep, versus Emil Mech. And I feel like everyone is leaning the same way on this fight. From what
I'm just saying right now. I'm going. I think you as well. Clearly, Kamaru Usman.
Yeah,
no hesitation,
dude. I wanted Usman in fantasy the second I heard this was a thing. The first time.
I thought you were gonna type J. Jonah Jameson. It's a J. Johnson.
Yeah, no, J. Jonah Jameson's totally gonna beat up Darren Elgin.
Yeah, and it's gonna make him take pictures of Spider-Man from after too.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, Kamaru Usman's a motherfucker.
We got the Nigerian Nightmare versus the Viking something. I don't know what.
Oh yeah, the Viking, Emil Mech.
Do you think they'll let him bring his hatchet or battle axe? Probably not. Huh?
Depends on whether or not he can print a Reebok logo on it in time.
Oh, yeah, right. Just put a little sticker on there.
Yeah. Kamaru Usman also.
Marty.
I forgot
I'm just gonna start calling him Marty. That's funny.
Pretty good. I forgot that was a thing. That's an ATT thing, if I remember right. Hard Knocks 365 also, I believe, is Henry Hoofs.
Yep, that's his. That's
which
basically
everyone keeps calling it Combat Club, but it's not Combat Club
Hard Knocks
anymore.
365 is AKA New Black Zillions, kind of.
It's Henry Hoof.
It's not, because it's not Greg. What's his name? Robinson.
Right, like it's Greg. Yeah, Greg.
Is that his name?
I'm a fat whiny baby. No,
yeah,
it's
that guy. Greg.
Glenn Robinson.
Glenn Robinson, not Greg.
Yeah. But you might as well call him Greg. Who cares?
Yeah, that guy was
he's
annoying
awful.
and tough. Holy
fucking
shit.
awful. Also, he runs gyms like an asshole, according to everyone.
He
bought the team in the first place. He basically just went and
I remember Dan Lambert's like, you inherited a bunch of superstars.
Yeah, literally. He fucking ran a hardware company and he just bought his way into the business. Anyway. Back on topic. Kamaru Usman's coming off the straight up slaughter of Sergio Moraes, where he made a motherfucker faceplant on national TV.
And then he scared us all in his native Nigerian tongue.
Oh my god.
Basically saying, I am a problem.
Yeah, real scary. And then he has the wins before that over Sean Strickland, Morley Alves, Yakovlev, Leon Edwards, Hader Hassan, Marcus Hicks. Like, everyone that has names that no one wanted to fight. Or not that no one wanted to fight, but like all the big names avoid the shit out of Kamaru Usman because he's a terrible matchup.
Yeah, he said
Covington
turned him down, allegedly.
Ever since that season of Tough, he has just been a monster.
The only thing that was fault to his claim, though, about no one wants to fight him is when he did say that to Ariel. Literally, Ariel on that episode a couple months ago was like, bro, you realize everyone that you're calling out is either injured or already has a fight booked.
Right, but they also have fights booked because they turned down fights.
No, I know. Like, but the way he was kind of... He was dramatizing a little bit.
Oh, wait, you're saying Ariel was dramatizing?
No. Kamaru was dramatizing the situation a little more than it was.
I know, but I'm saying Ariel.
But yeah, of course, Ariel loves any of that shit. He'll instigate a fight between two teammates if he wants to.
No, yeah, Ariel loves drama.
We got Emil Mech coming off 4 wins. Nice little win streak got going.
Yep.
But then again, he's only had 1 fight in the UFC.
Hasn't fought in over a year, too.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, his wins are, of course, Jordan Meehan in December of 2016, and then Husmar Paul Harris back at Venator FC.
Some people might mistakenly call him Paul Harris.
Yeah, Paul Harris, as you do. Yeah, I don't know, he killed Paul Harris one time. Yep. And he beat the shit out of Jordan Meehan that looked like he didn't want to fight anymore. So that's like some stuff that he did. I don't know why the fuck he's fighting Kamaru Usman other than the fact that he's the only dude who will take the fight. Like,
goodness, he's got
it's
balls.
A terrible matchup. Yeah, Usman's said, we've talked about it on the show, Usman's gonna double leg him and beat the shit out of him.
Kamaru Usman getting me about 20 points, hopefully, and be a fantastic knockout fashion or finish.
Yeah, no.
Oh, but he doesn't want to take that. Fuck. Well,
no, you'll still get... I still
think... give me like 10.
I think at least... second round finish, if not first. Depends on how quick he gets him down. Because the second he gets him down, he's just going to pass him out and fuck him up. Like, it's not... This is the least competitive fight on this card. This is barely okay matchmaking, even. Like, So whenever I talk like this, though, this tends to be when Ronda Rousey gets head kicked and
yeah.
Like
Watch
every time I say
UFC.
that, I swear you've been around for a lot of these.
Yeah.
Every time I say, "Oh, this person's gonna get fucked up," they have no chance. Joanna Jacek gets starched by Rose. Like it always happens.
That's what I kind of feel like. I feel like Francis is going night-night against Stipe. I don't know. Maybe not night-night, but he'll probably get decisioned and look like an amateur.
I'm gonna go ahead and say something controversial. I'm tired of everyone jumping on the fucking hype train of power punchers. Like, yo, you know who hits hard as fuck a lot of dudes in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, who's
mean
like the
much
most
to me.
elusive heavyweight? Fucking Steve. He doesn't have to dance. Get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
And wrestle.
I'm real, like, I'm Vulcan, same thing. I'm real not convinced by the big power punchers that have not really been tested, and when they have been tested, did not do well. Like, I'm not sold. We'll talk about that next week.
One punch, bro.
Yeah, one punch, bro. Hotter than lion. I'm from fucking
Sacktown, boy.
Sacramento. I should sound like a Diaz brother. God, could you imagine if Nick and Nate Diaz sounded like that?
I go,
Like they spent 6 months in England and they're like, hey, fucking dog. I can't even fucking do French version of that. Fucking wee dog. I fucking...
They would just sound like a bunch of chavs, basically. Like, I what you thought I talk about, mate.
Yeah, basically.
Represent all day.
Yeah, dog fromage and all that.
I don't
even know.
Why are they French all of a sudden?
That's a good question.
Oh god.
Oh,
but yeah,
man.
Kamaru Usman's gonna win this. In our opinion.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking. It could not be more confident that Kamaru Usman wins via probably stoppage.
Yeah.
Probably TKO.
This next fight, I am 100% confident. I'll just say it now. Jessica Rose Clark's gonna win this fight.
Well, we are in agreement. I have no faith in Paige Van Zandt anymore.
Neither do I. She's at a very huge size disadvantage, considering Clark used to be
Not that big,
but
a decent one.
She's coming down from bantamweight, so yeah. I don't even have much else to say about this. I think she's gonna get thrown around in decision.
Yeah, Paige is the one thing that, again, I'll shout out the MMA Vivisection. Connor and Zane pointed out that Paige is terrible with range. And Jessie Jess is real good with range, and I feel like that's going to play a lot into this fight. Also, the grappling difference, I think, is going to be a problem for Paige. Especially in her tendency to fucking go for head and arm throws.
I'll say this, if Paige was good at range, clearly she'd be called a 308, or the rifle.
Oh, I thought you were going to say prange.
No. Considering she's 12 gauge, she's good at close range.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Clearly doesn't shoot long
You did
rifle.
a gun joke.
Yeah, a stupid fucking terrible
Frank
gun
Mir would
joke.
be proud of you, bro.
Yeah.
Frank Mir would also be proud of your kangaroo obsession.
Yeah.
Which I'm now assigning you to. By the way,
I'm obsessed with kangaroos.
yeah, that's a thing. So,
I know that it looks like they can box.
Yeah,
That's what I know about kangaroos. These motherfuckers are jacked.
Yeah, the only thing I know about kangaroos is they like to say hello.
What is this, kangaroo jack?
Fucking
Jesus
Connor,
Christ.
I love that Connor English Australian hello thing. That's my favorite shit of all time. I thought about that like 4 different times.
Pat Wyman just
today.
like lose his shit. Like, what the fuck?
I literally thought like 4 different times today about him saying hello. I laughed to myself every time.
I gotta look at that.
It's real good. It's real good. But yeah, Paige Van Zandt is no longer at Alpha Male. She's up at like Gracie Baja Portland or something like that.
Gracie Barra?
Yeah.
He said Baja?
Yeah, it's ours and they're Brazilian.
Yeah.
Pronounced Baja.
Oh, yeah, that confused me. I thought when you were saying it, like, you were like,
No, I know.
Baja, like,
For the longest time, that's what I thought that was.
I literally thought that's what you
I was
meant.
like, why is Sage training at Gracie Baja? He lives in Texas. That's nowhere near Baja.
Yeah.
Like,
Sorry,
oh,
wow, that
wait,
confused
no,
shit out
not
of me.
Hunter S. Thompson Baja.
Yeah.
Fucking Gracie Baja. Different
Yeah.
Bajas.
Got it.
This is not the 5,000, Chris. But yeah, I don't know. Paige in the loss to Michelle Watterson in the win over Beck Rawlings in the loss to Rose Namajunas, like, none of which impressed me. Like, the fluke head kick, like, switch head kick that she hit on Beck is, like, way less impressive to me than what Jessie Jess did to Beck, where she just methodically picked Beck apart for a lot of that fight.
Yeah.
And easily won rounds. Also, Jessie Jess did fight Sarah Kaufman in Battlefield, The Great Beginning, as we talked about. She also has a win over Karina Dom in Titan FC this year, although it is via split decision. This fight will definitely go to decision, and I'm definitely leaning Jessie Jess pretty heavily. Also, fuck whoever stole Jessie Jess's shit from her house and killed her cat.
Oh, Jesus.
Is
what the fuck?
Not listening to this show.
Someone robbed a house?
Yeah, robbed her house in Vegas and kicked her cat so hard it had to be put down this week. So that's a fucking bummer. That's and everybody go follow Jessie Jess on Twitter and give her some love, because Jesus Christ,
who would
that's
kick
horrible.
A cat? What the fuck?
Yeah, it's horrible. And to deal with that, like, while you're out of town the week of the fight is, like, crazy.
That's terrible,
so, big shouts out to Jessie Jess. She also seemed fucking really nice. Like, every interview and everything I've heard from her, she seems cool as shit. And she has a crazy history and stuff, but yeah, definitely in that way.
We got the co-main event. We have...
Speaking of clearly one-sided matchups that I'm pretty confident in, Uriah Hall is taking on Vitor Belfort.
Yeah, I'm scared right now. I'm going Uriah Hall.
I am too. I mean, Uriah Hall's comeback over Krzysztof Jotko, combined with Vitor's inability to last more than 2 minutes of flurry. I just don't see a way that... Okay, that's not true. If Vitor catches Uriah Hall with his minute and a half blitz that he does in every fight,
he has a small chance.
He'll know. Well, he has a decent chance.
Yeah.
But Uriah Hall coming back after that Jotko beating, I was so confident Jotko was going to win that, and he was for 99% of that fight. And then Uriah Hall talked about on Unfiltered, I think it was, where he's literally, or somewhere, no, John Morgan.
Yeah.
He talked about how he literally said fuck it, or fuck this shit in his head, and then just knocked Jotko the fuck out.
So he needs to bring the fuck this shit attitude to this fight too.
Yeah, and I feel like Vitor's the dude to do that against, because Vitor will flurry, Vitor will throw bombs, and Vitor will force you into a crazy
And this is Vitor's retirement fight too, supposedly.
Theoretically, he's had a couple of those already.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm going Uriah. Vitor makes me nervous. And Uriah makes me nervous.
Don't you have Uriah in fantasy?
I do have Uriah in fantasy because I need big points, and he will be big points if he wins. However, if both of them sit there not doing shit for 3 rounds, I could easily see that shit happening and Uriah losing a decision. If Vitor never throws or really commits to much, this fight could be fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Because if Vitor just constantly kind of pressures and holds Uriah against the cage, this fight is going to suck a lot.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's going to happen. I think Vitor will gamble on a flurry, and I think Uriah will come out on top at the end of that. But, man, that's the kind of fight that, while I'm excited about it, it makes me nervous that it might be fucking awful to sit through.
And then we go to the main event of the evening. Yep. Jeremy Stephens versus Dooho Choi.
Versus your boy, Dooho Choi.
Yep, dat boy Choi. Jeremy Stephens, shouts out to Jeremy Stephens, find Alliance. Shouts out to I met him a couple months ago at the Goals game. Cool guy.
Yeah, we got that picture on one of our episodes if you go back in the archive.
Yeah, this fight is close. It's probably the closest fight on the whole card, arguably. I've been going back and forth through it.
I've been going back and forth on this fight for weeks.
I think I'll say now. I think I'm going to go with Stephens in this fight because I think the leg kicks are going to be a factor.
Wow.
I really want to choose.
I know you were Choi earlier.
I know I want to do Choi because I know I've seen Stephens struggle with volume and pressure, and Choi's that kind of matchup. Mm-hmm. But I think he's going to just look at just the success of the leg kicks. I've never seen. Well, I've only seen maybe Choi fight. I think the only time I saw him fight was when he fought Cub, and I didn't.
Oh, that's not true. You saw him fight.
Well, I saw the knockout reel against Tavares, who knocked him the fuck out.
Yeah, I want to say you saw the Sam Cecilia fight too.
Yeah, I just haven't seen someone throw leg kicks at Choi, so I don't know how he can deal with that.
Especially those low leg kicks, which is will affect you the most when you have that super wide stance that he has. Like he has that. I believe it was the dude from Loaded Joe's. Blake.
And another thing is, too, while Choi's chin was fucking fantastic against Cub...
He got blasted with some shit.
Jeremy Stevens, I'm almost 100% sure hits a lot harder.
Oh, for sure he hits harder.
So, I think some of those films are going to connect flush on Choi's chin. Not saying he's going night-night, but... Well, let's be real. Choi can knock him the fuck out, too, probably. I mean, I don't remember Jeremy Stevens' chin being... I don't know.
It's good. Jeremy Stevens has a hell of a chin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, the more I've thought about this fight as time went on...
Yeah, I'm going Stevens, because I remember RDA was different when he fought him way back when, like 6 years ago, whenever it was, and RDA was still a volume striker then, and Stevens able to capitalize and catch him clean.
Yep.
Not saying he could do it to Choi, but I think he could if he could do it to RDA back then.
For sure, possible.
So I'm gonna go with that pick. I wouldn't be. I could also choose Choi in it. It's kind of like a 50.
It's a close fight.
I'm not gonna do that goofy ass fucking coin flip I've done before. I'm gonna stick to my.
Oh, you at least know these fighters, so yeah. Some of those other ones, but
someone's like, I have no idea who the fuck this is.
Either one of them, yeah. So Jeremy Stevens, I'm going to lean that way as well. I went back and forth a lot, and that low leg kick is a big factor. Blake on Loaded Joe's did mention that Duo Choi does a lot of fencing training.
Ooh, that's
same with Korean Zombie. They both did
Chansung Jung.
Yeah, they both did some fencing to try to work on distance and range management. However,
really smart training.
Seems like a great plan unless you're going to get kicked in the goddamn ankle the entire fight.
In the calf, all that shit.
Yeah, those fucking low leg kicks to the calf that Jeremy Stevens hit on Gilbert Melendez are the reason why I'm picking him in this fight. I like Duho Choi in this fight for every reason except for those leg kicks. And I think the way he stands and the amount of weight he puts on his front leg, he sits down in that long fencing stance, and that shit is asking. It's really actually not that dissimilar to Gilbert Melendez's stance, and that shit is asking to get fucking crushed. The only thing is Duo Choi has really long reach. So you want.
What is his reach? Does it say? I can't remember Sherdog's reach.
I don't believe so. But I do know that he's a long dude, and he's good at extending his punches out really sharp.
Yeah,
because
didn't you say it was Woodley that's talking about? He's one of the
has one of the best right hands in the division. Yeah, the straight right of him. Woodley said he has the best straight right outside of himself. Yeah. Which Woodley, to be fair, does have a crazy right hand, and he that was cool hearing Woodley break his right hand down of how it's combo of a hook and a straight. It's somewhere in between those two. But yeah, Duho Choi.
His reach is 70. Duho Choi.
That seems long for that division, right? What's Jeremy Stevens' reach?
He's in the top 10, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, he's number 9. He's 71, so he has pretty long.
Really?
But he used to be a lightweight, though, too.
Yeah,
Well, here, Max Holloway is tall as shit. He's 5'11". He's 69. Wow, he has short arms for that.
Well,
that's not really short. Yeah, that's average.
Duo Choi has crazy long arms, and evidently so does Jeremy Stevens.
Dude, Jose Aldo, 70. Yeah, he has long fucking arms.
Yeah, so they all have about the same range.
Yeah, Frankie Edgar, 68.
I think maybe why Duo Choi's... Yeah, I think maybe why Duo Choi...
I have short arms. My arms are 65. I'm like Cody Garbrandt with the fucking short arms.
Yeah, I think maybe why Duo Choi's reach seems so long is because of how straight he throws everything. Where Jeremy Stevens throws a lot more.
Yeah, it's weird because T-City looks tall, but he's only 5'8". It's just that slenderness is really misleading.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell how tall people are until they're standing next to someone.
Why the fuck is Josh Emmett number 4 ranked featherweight when he was...
Josh Emmett just beat Ricardo Lamas.
Yeah, I know, don't get me wrong, but it was kind of like at catchweight, though.
Still.
It's almost kind of unfair.
Yeah, so for this one, I'm leaning Jeremy Stephens off that kick and off of the power he's going to be able to bring to it. Not ultra confident. I swung back and forth a lot in the lead up to this fight. I'm still not very confident. But Jeremy Stephens is the homie. He's back at Alliance MMA. He was cool as shit and took a picture with you. And I'm going Jeremy Stephens. So we'll take the homer pick on this one.
By the way, speaking of long reach, Darren Elkins is a 72, and fucking Michael Johnson played the longest reach in the division at 73.
Ooh, that's interesting too.
Yeah.
But again, a dude who throws real straight long punches versus a dude who throws wild looping shit.
Yeah.
So that'll be... There's actually some really fun matchups on this card. I've heard a lot of people giving some big shouts out to Mick Maynard and Sean Shelby on this, which I think is 100% on board. Like, some of these matchups reek of, like, them wanting to see certain style matchups. So
yeah.
I think it's going to be a really fun card. I highly recommend people check it out.
Sunday, right?
Sunday at 7. I think prelims start at 4 Pacific.
I don't have work, so I know what I'm doing on Sunday.
Yeah, also on Saturday, of course, there's ACB at, I think, 11-ish. There is the bare knuckle boxing with Melvin Gillard at like 11 a.m. or so. And then you have Invicta, of course, starting at 4, I think, Pacific, maybe 7 Pacific for main card. Highly recommend people check out Invicta. If you're not subscribed to Fight Pass, get yourself a free trial. There's codes everywhere for that. Like Reddit always has free trial codes, or you can just sign up and you get a free trial too. And yeah, go watch some Invicta. It's fucking good. Invicta fights are really fun, and TJ DeSantis is great on the broadcast with Julie Kedzie. Fucking Shannon Knapp, the head of that promotion, is just a good person who really likes the athletes.
Very organized and meticulous with the way she kind of just puts everything together.
She's like if Dana White wasn't a giant cunt. Which is ironic.
If he wasn't a giant asshole businessman. On the business side.
But even still, like, he's still kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Like, Shannon Knapp's like everyone's mom.
I'm not trying to defend Dana. I think most of what he does is business oriented, though. Because then outside, he has like a good heart. He'll help people. Well.
Yeah. When it makes him look good, he does.
I'm not going to judge his character because I don't like, I don't know the guy. You know what I mean? I try to be like that. But either way, yeah, and props to Dana, by the way, for allegedly threatening to get rid of Connor's belt.
I thought you were going to say props to Dana for shipping in snow to his house.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't there something you sent me on Instagram?
On Instagram I did.
Del Mar?
Yeah, I was in Del Mar and I saw they flew in snow for the rich people.
Yeah.
So I definitely I asked when Dana White came to town.
Mommy, I've never seen snow before.
Fucking white people, dog.
It's like, yeah, we can just drive 3 hours northeast to Big Bear, but...
Like, how much snow have you seen flown into Chula Vista or, like, fucking anywhere in southeast San Diego?
Oh, God.
Like, has there ever been snow flown in there? Unless it was of the Bolivian kind.
Yeah, right.
Like, fucking...
The fun snow?
Yeah.
Excuse me, I didn't say that.
Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. Anyway,
should be a fun card. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm hyped. So we'll wrap this show here. I am excited for our bet. That'll be fun. We got a food bet and a
So what is the bet again? Let's break it.
So if Michael Johnson misses weight, if Michael Johnson misses weight, then you buy food. If he makes weight, I buy food.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
And then if Michael Johnson wins, I have to drink terrible booze of your choice. If he loses, you have to drink terrible booze of my choice.
That's fine.
For next week's show. So that'll make that fun. And, I'm curious to see how those weigh-ins go. Because I don't think he's going to make weight, man.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of nervous. Well, whatever.
It'll be interesting. So, you guys can find us on Twitter, TSOVPod. Send us an email, chris@thesoundofviolence.com. You can find Chris on Twitter at...
Just add my name, at
Chris Madaffer.
Yep.
1D, 2Fs.
Yep.
You can find me on Twitter at The Pulver. Fucking sign up for MMA Tycoon is cool. Oh, shout out to our sponsor. Kangaroos MMA out in Sydney. Judo Bell Tyler's the man. And I'm hoping since he is the king of all of the good terrible movie references, he mentioned a thread on the UG back in the day that it gave me a source of a couple terrible options for us for future commentaries, so that'll be fun. And shouts out to St. Archer, Blackberry Goes, that shit's good.
Oh yeah.
Also shouts out to Ballast Point whiskey canned drinks.
Or Cutwater now.
Cutwater, right.
Same thing.
Because I tried their they have like
I tried the whiskey highball, that was pretty fun.
it's too pepperminty
a little bit, yeah, at the end.
But I love the carbonation on it.
Yeah.
It's really bright.
Good, like finish and all that.
Yeah. Shouts out to Jimbo's Liquor, where I buy all my booze. It's great. Actually, Par Liquor, I just lied to all the people.
Well, it's the same ownership.
I mean, and I go to both. I like them both, but Par Liquor is the one that's the dopeness. If you're ever in San Diego, go to Par Liquor. We're unofficially
also,
sponsored by them. Also,
shouts out to Crest Liquor on Balboa, because my grandpa used to go all the time to get lodge tickets back in the day, and those guys are cool as shit.
Yeah. Shouts out to fucking Costco Pizza.
Yep.
Which helped us make it through this podcast without me blacking out. And we'll wrap this here. But like I said, you guys can follow us on Twitter. And if you guys, if you want to watch the show on YouTube, we have the audio version of the show on YouTube. If you look that up, give us a like and a subscribe. That'd be cool. If you leave us a rating or subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts, that would be dope. Because ratings, especially reviews, are evidently help with whatever shitty metrics they have. So if you do that, that'd be dope. But much love to all of you. We are excited to be back in regular format. It feels good. And I'm excited for this card, man. So, Chris, anything else you wanted to shout out?
No, that's it for me, man.
Cool. We will go ahead and wrap it here. And I'm excited for next week where we have fucking 220.
Oh, yeah.
Shit is gonna be wild. So, till next time, everybody, go do something decadent. Yeah.